Salamat Pagi, and welcome to Tinker, Tailor, Solder, Fry, the Let's Try program here on the mighty Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network, once again broadcasting from within the Crystal Gondola of the palatial main Tilty House Studios here in beautiful downtown Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. My name's Ian Horner. I'm your host for this show, as always, as we continue through this global pandemic, and I am, Actually, wait, something's wrong here. I usually do these shows solo, but there's an empty chair. And I'm not Jewish, so there must be a reason for that.
Y'all got any plum sauce?
Oh, Jesus Christ, it's Beej!
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the show!
Thank you.
Yeah. It's, we're going to be doing the Tinker Tailor today.
I can't wait.
Two people, one of us, is going to be working on some more Gunpla. We've got premium Bandai materials that have been delivered to me earlier than I expected.
That's cool.
Because there was some other stuff that got delivered not to me, but less early than you would have liked.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a Electromotive style injection machine. This is literally the machine that Bandai uses to make Gunpla parts. Because
this is a model of that machine.
Yes,
okay,
that's
great.
I was like, whoa, scale model, non-functional. Let's be very clear about what we're building today.
Oh, it's 1/60th scale.
Yeah.
That's massive. Wow, okay.
They're big beasts.
Yeah, okay. It's not like a 3D printer.
No. They've got to be too, because they are taking molten plastic and just pushing it into these tiny, tiny holes.
Right.
So a lot of horsepower involved in here, and I'm very excited to put this together. And you are going to be eating a meal.
I am working on this bowl this evening. It is full of Young's restaurant actually does really good Chinese.
They do.
Yeah, they really do. And we ordered it on Thursday. Wait, today's Thursday. We ordered it after the stream, and it was at my door in 20 minutes.
Good God.
And Young's is like a 10-minute drive away. I don't know what wormhole they went through.
Send the chef to the buffet.
Do I need an actual project tonight?
I mean, generally we like you to have something on the show when you.
Okay, well I have something.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I mean, this is completely coming out of nowhere. I had no idea that this was.
We definitely didn't plan this.
I had no idea that you were in the area, to be honest.
Yeah. I just stopped by and I need a place to eat on camera. So tonight, at some point, either when I'm finished my meal or between bites, we're gonna work on what this is. It says mini server on it.
Is it also Electromotive?
Well, it's electronical, definitely. There's a little box in here that has cables in it. But more specifically,
Everything's very heavy.
it is super heavy. Oh my god. Let's see if I can get this thing out. Okay, get that box away. So this is a U-NAS 810A NAS chassis.
U-NAS fat.
Yeah, and so this cost me way too much money.
They always do.
And it actually I ordered it with the power supply installed already, which is great.
One fewer steps.
Yeah, one other thing that I didn't have to buy and do, and it says in the box that it's mini ATX only, but the A style chassis will hold a micro ATX board or mini ITX. So I'm like, so that works, and it's as you can see, kind of. It has 8 bays across the front. I don't need to fill all of those. And so the idea...
But you will.
Yeah, I will eventually. The idea with this is that my Drobo failed, and I need to get everything off of it, but I also need to just not use a Drobo ever again. Yeah. And the hope is I will crack into this Slim Jim. I'll grab my parts, which are in another box over there. We will assemble a NAS tonight. I don't know if we'll start it up. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to just put some computer parts in places.
A double project.
Yeah,
Once again.
about it. Yeah.
Thank God.
All right. It's your show. You have the steering wheel.
Yes, I do. It's over there right now, but
Right.
then we'll be using that on Friday. Saturday, geez. Let's not
That's
get ahead of
right.
ourselves. Yeah. Let's just,
I'll start pulling things out. Yeah, and I'm going to keep the plastic out for your table, so I try not to mar anything.
Not at all. It needs a good working, but if you do want a surface, I'll get you cutting boards.
Never mind. Then it's probably going to be fine.
Yeah. Right. Let me swap out the cameras here because we got the things as they are. Boop. Aha. So while you're pulling that out, let's make us small. Make that big. Yay. Yeah, this was a Bandai, premium Bandai limited release model, and I was lucky enough to have a friend in the States able to receive that for me because this is because Bandai doesn't ship to Canada their premium stuff, and that makes it really difficult to get the coolest models because the coolest ones are always just web only.
Oh, okay.
Pre-order type stuff.
And then it's U.S. only. And,
Yeah, kind of like the ramen one was.
that sucks.
Okay, so well, there's not much there. One runner, but God, that's a beautiful runner. It's at 1, 2, 3, 4 colors, which is pretty impressive. Because you've got to get 4 different injections of plastic at the same time, basically, too.
Okay. Okay.
Otherwise, it doesn't really come together right.
So it's not like there's a whole bunch of there's maybe about 24 parts in there, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah. So it's just a kind of a process of go slow, get everything.
Oh
right.
yeah, I mean we could go right at this like pow pow pow, but
Right.
No, take your time, make it look nice because I've become a bit more of a accomplished modeler.
Have you?
Well, thanks to having done a couple. Well,
I must confess, I have not watched the show.
oh, that's quite all right. I'm now painting and coating things.
Oh shit!
And the previous build that we had was of this, a space colony.
Oh yeah.
It's currently on the shelf. I'll show it off later when we're off camera.
You can watch that VOD on the YouTube channel.
Oh yes, that would be youtube.com/loadingradio live,
Right.
where we keep all of our streamium content.
Nice. Streamium. Oh god, I love that name.
As opposed to the premium stuff, which goes up on loadingreadyrun.com.
All right.
Yeah, that's it. One sheet of instructions too. It's not going to be a lot, but
So I'm going to thank a few people in the process of doing this. Is that I was talking to a lot of our friends to try to decide what it is I should buy. I had my eye on the case, and that was like, I guess I'm buying this. That was gonna. The case cost me. It was $210. It was on sale for a few. That's US, right? The power supply cost I think $110.
right, oh, it's got one of those tiny little.
Yeah, it needs a 1U Flex. So a very different style and not many that's around. So,
No.
yeah, and it's there's only so many I guess that you can get. And they're like, we sell this for this chassis. I'm like, fine, you know that it's going to run 8 drives. I guess I'll go with that. And it's got 3 fans in it already, which is lovely. But then to pick the parts, I started the process of I went on where all of our friends hang out. I asked some questions. What do you guys do for this? What should we do for that? And then I started looking into parts myself. And then at some point I just said, you know what? I'm going to just talk to Texan Reverend, who has built like every other person's streaming machines.
Yep.
And I was like, Texan, can you give me a hand with this? Because I don't know what I'm going to end up throwing into stuff. And when we got around to, like, when he had a look and then we talked a little bit more. And so what we figured was, okay, we're going to do a micro ATX board. It doesn't have to be very featureful, but this was on clearance from a place in Quebec. So, I didn't say, right. So 210 plus 110 plus $70 shipping to get it to Canada. I spent $500 Canadian getting this up here, or in total. And then they wrote me back to like, oh, you ordered these both together. You get a $15 rebate on your shipping because you didn't pay for separate shipping. You get them all together in one box. So I was like, yay, I saved some money. So this was like $90 Canadian and like $20 shipping from Quebec. I'm like, fine, that's great. They were apparently getting rid of them, and it's a micro ATX board. It's got 2 M2 slots on board.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And it has 6 SATA 3 ports, which is what I'm really interested in because this has 8 ports on it.
Yes.
So I can at least fill up 6 of them for now, and we can go with that.
You can throw in a card to expand later.
Exactly, and we can either do because this does have slots on the back. You're like, well, how does that work? Well, you buy risers.
Yep.
And you have you buy riser cables and you mount this thing, you connect by riser cable. It's like, and then the but this, because it has 2 M2 slots on board, Texan found because M2 is just PCI Express.
Exactly.
He found a 5-port SATA
Right
host bus
on
adapter.
M2.
Yeah, they
Oh,
just
perfect.
you plug in. And I'm like, that's great. That'll give me a whole bunch of ports if I ever need them.
We got another M2 for a boot drive. Or
Exactly. Or for anything else I want to do. This thing actually holds 9 drives. There's a space on the side right here.
For another SSD?
Yeah, for an SSD that just goes right in there. And that way it's like you can fill all 8 with a standard 3.5, and you can put your SSD in there, and you can use it as a cache drive or something else. And we're going to do Unraid, I think. And God help me, it works. Because everything I've been reading about Unraid is that everything boots off a USB stick, but their licensing works in such a way where you need a GUID on your USB sticks, and not all USB sticks come with GUIDs. And when you ask, they're like, "Well, here's 3." And I'm like, "But there are thousands." And they're like, "Well, here's 3 you can buy." And I'm like, "I don't want to spend that much money on a USB stick. I want to know, better." So I went to Memory Express. I got an open box discount on this one. It was like $10. I'm like, we're going to try this. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, then I guess I'm spending $30 on like the stick that works. The CPU was the most ridiculous thing.
Now this is the interesting thing here. I note you're going with the Intels.
Yes, because what I want to do is make this a Plex server.
Yes.
And to do that, you either, if you want to have transcoding, or effective transcoding, you either need a graphics card, which would be spending a whole ton of money, or you can use Intel QuickSync Video.
Yes, which is a good one.
Yeah, and it's a great, to use the hardware transcoding, you have to have a Plex Pass, which I don't have yet. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to use hardware transcoding, I'm going to have to pay for that, and then I'm going to pay for a graphics card. I'm like, you know what? I can just do this. I was looking at like 7th gen, like Kaby Lake stuff.
Yeah.
And because I was looking at like a ridiculous motherboard that was like $250. And so when Texan and I talked, he's like, you can get this nicer motherboard, a 10th gen, so way newer CPU, and the Core i5, this is already $80 off.
Nice.
And so I spent $240 on it total, free shipping. And I was just like, that's a lot. That's way too much. This is a Core i5 10400.
Running at 2.9 gigahertz.
Yeah, it's like it's too much CPU for what is essentially a server. But
so you think.
I'm never going to need to get anything else for a very long time. Like I don't have to upgrade this in like 2 or 3 years. So it's like, this will be fine. This will last me 7 or 8 years, and then we can talk about it then.
Well, when you start using your NAS as a server rather than just as a NAS, those extra cores and that extra oomph really does help.
Oh yeah, then I start like adding all sorts of other things into it. And I start inviting people to use my Plex server, and then transcoding goes up.
What level of Patreon is that? Access to Beej's Plex server.
Well, we'll have to run the numbers and see what it's worth for me to let people in. Oh, and the whole thing has to be cooled with a cooler that is
low profile,
practically non-existent. Like it's 39 millimeters top to bottom. It is the lowest profile one you can get, or 37 top to bottom.
Kids, be very, very careful about what cooler you get, because I still have a cooler from my own upgrade, I think, at the beginning of the pandemic, that was too big to go into any of my cases.
Oh, damn.
And of course, no returns until everyone's vaccinated.
Yeah.
Get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated. All right, I'm going to stop talking and start doing things.
Well, I want to discuss a quick bit. So
Sure.
you weren't concerned about the need for ECC RAM then?
Well, so everyone says you should go ECC. Everybody says go ECC RAM.
I don't. But
And I didn't. We went with this stuff, this is G-Skill FlareX. It's 3200. It'll work with an Intel. It's 16 gigs of RAM. It's a lot of RAM.
you went to the store and said, "Give me the cheapest one that doesn't have LED lighting."
Well, actually, and that was Texan's thing. Like he even was like, I know that the rise on it is this much, and when you plug it in, it will just barely fit inside the case. And I'm like, great. You did all that work. I didn't have to.
You really need to worry about that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just like we got 16 gigs of RAM. I was like, I would love to do ECC, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna run all this stuff, and if I start to see problems and start to see whatever else, and I'm like, the best way to solve this is to get ECC RAM and to do whatever, then it's a do-over. And then maybe I take a lot of this stuff and put it in Heather's computer she has at
Upgrade
home.
herself.
We give her an upgrade. I buy some new stuff for this. We'll do that. But I'm like, right now we're gonna just do it this way. And if it works, it works. And if I start to see that I need to have more robust server stuff, then I'm gonna do it then. I'll have learned my lesson. But right now it's like, let's just skate by.
Well, the nice thing is too, you've also got all of the expensive and reusable parts out of the way.
Right.
Like if you do need to swap out the motherboard and the processor and God willing, well, not the RAM,
Yeah,
but that's less than the cost of this case.
exactly. So I don't even know
Great.
if this actually even supports ECC RAM or not.
I don't believe Intel chips outside of their Xeons do.
Yeah, because that's like, even if the motherboard did, I'm pretty sure that the Core i5 won't play nice with them, but I actually don't know. It's been so long since I've done any sort of that.
I've never thought about it until I've been told by various people on the, not the Unraid, the U-NAS forums that you're gonna have HHC.
Well, if I'm going to go server style, then I have to buy a Xeon that supports Intel QuickSync Video, and there are a few.
Or you go AMD.
Does the APUs built into those like go with AMD and get one that actually has a built-in graphics card in the CPU, or do you mean like do the Ryzen's actually support something that's like QuickSync Video?
I just mean go to the Ryzen's, do all of your transcoding on
chip.
in software on chip.
Right, because they're fast enough.
Yep.
Yeah, that would probably work too.
And you get an ECC for free.
That's fair.
The Ryzen's.
That's fair. All right. So yes, it was a big surprise to everybody that I'm here.
Yes.
It's a surprise to me too, because clearly I did not bring any screwdrivers.
Oh, I am here to help you.
Oh, hooray. Thank you very much. Oh no, it's the screwdriver that runs Doom.
Oh, you can you can just use the regular.
I might do.
Ones as well.
Oh, you know what? I have to kind of lean into the, at your pleasure. I will try this.
Please. Actually, while I've got the that camera up, I'm gonna go grab some bad nippers.
Okay. Oh, you pull the. Oh, that's so cool. It stands up like I expected it to, but.
Proud.
Oh God. I pressed a button, and I put it in and I turn it, right?
Yep. In the direction you want it to go out.
I sure am doing it with the electronics. Whee! You'll have to show me again.
You do have to hold the button down.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
Okay, so you put it in, you press the button, hold it.
Twist it in the direction you want it to go.
I did, and it seems like it's probably really torqued.
If it's torqued, you just detorque it a bit,
Oh, and then
and then it should continue on. If it doesn't, then it might just be too tight.
okay.
I
Hold
think
the
I can
button
hear
down,
it
twist
going.
in the direction you want to go. Oh my
Hey,
God.
there we go.
That rules. You have all the best toys. You know that?
That's a lot.
Oh my God. Oh shoot! Don't have a place to put screws.
And they don't even sponsor us. I got you there. Maybe I don't.
That's okay.
Oh wait, yes, of course I do.
I mean, you're not going to confuse these screws with your stuff, right? Oh, perfect. Okay, that's fine. Yes.
Not at all. So I'm still going to. You know what?
I know we're being super chatty right now, but that isn't like a put on. It's just nice to see my friend again for so long. Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of this show too. Is that we do things while talking. Usually, it's for the past year and a half. It's been me talking at myself.
Right.
So this is a wonderful new experience. Ooh, this instruction has 0 English, which is great.
All right. Let's put that right there.
So we're looking at parts 4 and 14. Yes.
Everything I've been told about this thing is that you're going to get cut up.
Ooh, I mean, that's most cases.
Right. It's one.
Yeah, this is some pretty hard plastic. I don't know if I feel good about... we'll find out.
You
I
don't
don't
think
know
your
if
God hands are going to be forgiving enough, or?
Oh no, they're plenty forgiving. It's about me being gentle on the God hands.
Ah, that's fair.
Whenever these get broken out on stream, someone is either you're using them wrong or you're not using them enough.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
You really.
No matter what I do, I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah. This is plastic you peel off the surface to make it all pretty. So
Like a microwave.
yeah, exactly. Which I will probably do not on stream. I will do it after I get home. So sorry, you're gonna miss that part. But okay, let's put this over here.
Ooh, okay. I do have to be careful with this one, and I'm gonna give chat a good reason why. You can see just along the edge of the edge here, there's a raised lip. I'm not sure if it's visible. Yeah, there you go. You can see it there. And so I need to make sure I'm not going too deep with the God hand
Oh,
to bite into that lip. Again, just solely for aesthetics, but there we go. And just a bit of cleanup that'll need to be done with the knife there too. Let's see if I can zoom in. Yeah, you can just see right along that edge there. Chop that off.
Ah, okay.
2009 kit, Pat? No, this is a 2019 kit. Whoa, whoa, whoa! I stand corrected. This is a 2007 kit, or at least it was copyright 2007.
So it's more that it recently arrived in the U.S. to be sold to people.
I guess so. Either way, it's new to me, and it's new to you at home too.
Oh my God, they did all the hard work.
Fans and
well, it's not just that. So the Molexes, the power Molexes are plugged in, and all of the SATA cables are all plugged in. So the chassis are weird. If you go look at U-NAS's website, you're going to find their 800 series stuff, which is there's the 800, there's the 810, there's the 810A, there's like an 810P server that they actually make that has everything already built into it. It's an old Intel Celeron setup. It ain't great. And they want 500 for that. And I was like, okay, well, no.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And so, but I had expected to get this without all of the wiring already in place, that I was going to have to get in here and like plug all this stuff in. The back planes on some of the ones like the 800 are SAS, serial attached SATA.
Oh.
Right?
Yep.
No, serial attached SCSI. Jesus, why did I screw that up? So
It's been a while.
SAS and SATA seem very similar. Like when I was, I've never actually seen two of them side by side in real life. So, and when I used to work at the computer store, I could buy SAS drives or I could buy SATA drives, and I was like, well, they look like they're using the same picture for both. It doesn't look like they have any sort of different sort of connectors or whatever, but the connectors apparently are slightly different. But what I've heard is that some backplanes will have a SAS attachment that breaks out into 4 SATA. So you plug in your SAS single connector, it breaks into 4, and then you plug that into the 4.
Oh, I don't like that.
4 ports. It's real weird. Like I'd never heard of that before, and I'm discovering that's kind of a common thing for a lot of host bus adapters and stuff that are like, if you buy a host bus adapter online, like a SATA controller, the ones that come out of servers will usually have SAS ports on them, but you can change the firmware to say, no, I want you to serve SATA only.
And then you get those 3 ports.
And you can get all the ports will bust out to that. It's a really interesting idea. But it is weird because it also means special cables and whatnot. And yeah, and serial attached SCSI apparently is super fast.
Oh, I mean,
SCSI's always been faster than
Exactly.
ATA, right? So
it's right there in the name, SCSI.
exactly. So I'm gonna just see here. The one thing you can kind of see, chat, maybe from the other side, is that in here, I have some cables already, but I'm actually missing a lot of cables because those cables are in this box. And what I'm probably gonna have to do is put the CPU in the motherboard, screw the cooler down to it, and then try to get the whole mess in all at once.
I look forward to the spreading of the...
Oh, me too, because I haven't done that in a long time.
I recently redid it on my PC.
Oh.
It was a new one, and that was necessary. That was an instant 10-degree lowering of temperatures.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. I might just end up screwing in some of this other stuff too. Like this is what they call the OS tray. It's just a tray that goes right here, so you mount your drive to it, and just don't want it to hang in the box. I might just screw that into place and be like, great, you're gonna live there until I need it. It's fine. I should just get the instructions out.
So have you done much looking into Unraid?
Well, when I found out the thing about you need to have a special USB stick, I was pretty much like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'd rather just go with TrueNAS Core. But I thought about it some more, and I'm like, well, there's one guy online who is pro Unraid, but he tried running both. He's like, I like Unraid better for one reason. If you need support, the guy who's kind of like well known on the TrueNAS forums for being a hand is, quote, with a link to a thread where this was said, he is, quote, an absolute penis of a human. And I was like, oh, and apparently that seems to be most people's reactions is they're like, oh, it's a getting support is more difficult. Unraid is definitely good for people who are beginners. And I'm like, I installed TrueNAS at the Moonbase for a tester NAS for us just to see if it would actually do what we wanted to do. And it was simple enough to set up. But then I was like, but what happens when it stops being simple to set up? And then the ZFS thing, that I was kind of like, I want to be able to do that. But then you told me it's like, well, they're gonna move off of FreeBSD and move to Linux. Now that I believe ZFS is now part of the newer Linux kernels.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's
Yes,
great.
yeah.
So I was like, I think I'm going to try installing Unraid first, just see what the process is for setting up before I start transmitting, transferring stuff over. If I don't like it, I can just wipe the stick, and I can just start with TrueNAS instead. And if I don't like that, I'll just go back to Unraid, and who cares? Like I have some time before I have to, because Unraid is all XFS, right? Real weird. Because it's like, who uses that? Weird. Well, older Unix systems still use XFS. It's a really good file system. Like, it's been around for years upon years upon years.
Middle-aged. It is. Let's be honest.
That's fair, right? So, but it's a very old system. It's like you put all your stuff in XFS, and then you put your caches in Btrfs, and that's kind of that's how they recommend you set everything up.
It's stable then too.
It's very stable, yeah, and it's still journaled, I believe, and everything else. I'm like, that seems still pretty good. So I might be happy with that, and we know some people who have set up Unraids for themselves and for other people, and I'm like, I'm willing to give that the shot first and see how that works. So if it turns out to not work, then I'm going to set up TrueNAS, and then you and I will be the only ones that I know that actually run it. So
it's good to have options too.
Yeah.
Because who knows what could happen to either of those properties.
That's, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I know exactly who you're talking about too, with regards to the this absolute penis of a man.
Oh, good. Yeah, you probably run into them.
You get to recognize the avatars of these people as you scroll through the forums.
Ah.
Thankfully, I have had one problem that wasn't an already solved problem.
Oh,
so that was easy to fix. That.
That's good.
That problem though was simply just a corrupted data pool that just needed to be straight up rewiped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was happening was I would do a scrub of the data pools every Sunday, and when it would get to a certain point in the scrub process, the machine would just reboot.
Oh.
And I thought I'd been talking with someone on the Discord about it who was having similar problems. Tried some tweaks there. Nothing worked until I thought, let's just wipe this entire pool and rebuild it.
Right.
Did, and no problems.
Oh, shit. That's awesome. Okay.
Which is not a solution, unfortunately.
No, but it is, you did a thing, and yeah. I'm just hoping that my Drobo's going to hold itself together long enough for me to transfer stuff off it, because I'm going to do the old hard drive shuffle where it's like,
oh no,
take a drive out, put it in here, get it set up, transfer everything over, or transfer enough stuff over that I can pull another drive, pull that drive, put it in here, set it up, transfer more things over, just do that thing until it's done and be like, I hope this works. Because Unraid's thing is, it's not RAID, obviously, but it's basically just have some drives and have a parity drive. And then if you lose a drive that's part of that pool, then your parity drive can pick up the slack while you install a new thing, and you can have dual drive redundancy as well. So you can be like, I have all these drives, and I have two parity drives that will help that. And I'm like, it seems pretty good, kind of the good enough solution that I'm hoping it'll be. All right, so this wants me to do that, but they've already installed the power supply. And they already connected it to the back plane, didn't they? Maybe they didn't.
I'm a little bit sad, unfortunately, because TrueNAS has decided that they're moving away from BSD towards Debian.
Oh yeah.
We're giving up one of what has become one of my favorite BSD features, which is jails.
Oh yeah.
I used to be really down on jails, thinking like, oh well, you're just running more Debian, you're not. But no, they're great
Right.
for setting things up, standing it up, taking snapshots, wiping it away, and starting clean. Because you're not adding any extra load to your system. You're just really sandboxing things.
So Linux does have chroot jails, which are a little more complicated to set up.
That's a little different.
But they might also lean towards trying for Docker, because that's what Unraid uses is Docker, and they might decide they want to do that instead.
Isn't Docker just a fancy
Virtual machine?
yeah. System? Yeah. It's an app store for virtual machines. There, I said it.
All right.
But yeah, that was something that came to mind a lot when I was rebuilding the serving functions of the NAS server I use. There's a few things I want to keep the load as low as possible because I'm working off of a probably a decade-old Xeon, I think.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, you wouldn't want to have too much going on. Oh my god.
That's a lot of cabling.
That's a lot of. This is supposed to be modular. F.
Would you like some zip ties?
I've got one of these, and I'll probably find more of these as the time. I have a zip tie I have to cut here in a minute too.
Okay. Well, hey, I've got your help there.
Cool. That's motherboard side.
I recently did a bunch of cable management on my. I mean, you'll probably get to see it during. Well, we won't be seeing it during the main part of the Le Mans run.
Okay.
But I might show it off before the start of it. Because currently on the... I've got my wheel set up on sort of a metal A-frame that folds up. And it's also got the pedals attached to it as well. And the gear shifter and the button box. And it's all attached.
Okay.
But you're looking at 4 different devices. That's a lot of wires flying all over the place on something that folds up and can end up crimping wires if you're not careful. So I ended up ordering an Amazon USB hub. Double-side taped that to the bottom of the pedal plate.
Okay.
Wired everything into there and zip stripped and Velcroed everything into this beautifully cable managed system that looks like it's all been put together by a professional.
Nice.
But instead by me.
Okay, so the motherboard has to. This is the thing that goes in the motherboard. This is the little. This is the shield they give you.
I love those.
Yeah. Here, just install this and like sure.
The no sparky pad.
Yeah. The motherboard connector is gonna go in this area roughly, so that's not much. It's enough to travel.
That is a sizable.
It's a lot of
motherboard
cable.
Area.
It's a lot of cable. Holy shit. Okay. Do you have a nipper or scissors or something I can use to? Okay. One I don't want to ruin.
Yeah, no, that is the gross nipper.
Okay. Oh. Here we go. We're gonna pull all of these out. Hang them out here. It's all the power LEDs and some USB and another USB header, and that's a fan connector. Okay.
Heard that as a USB header, and I was thinking, what other header
USB
supports?
Yeah. This is
This is my PS2 header.
now. It seems to me that I have a motherboard side connector. I don't. This is a Seasonic SS350 M1U. It's labeled here. It's like this is power supply side. This is motherboard side. But what's also on this is a huge adapter.
Wum.
Yeah, that also ends in
A graphics card.
exactly right, which I'm probably not going to use. But it does also have power that it's looking like it's providing to the rest of the motherboard. So it probably stands to reason that this is a power, because I have 2 plugs on here. Both of these plugs probably have to be plugged in.
Maybe?
I think so, because I think this one fits. So why not plug it in? Christ.
There's a lot of power going into motherboards these days.
Yeah, there really is, and lots of places it can go. So
right,
just waiting
there
for
we go.
somebody, and I haven't been reading chat at all. I apologize, guys.
Well, there's been a lot of talk, it seems, here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 2 pieces done. Where the next? Step 1 complete. Step 2 complete.
Oh, nice.
Step 3. Muki ni chui. So be careful of that.
Of being a chuny?
I guess so.
Okay.
That's what those kanji mean. What are we looking at here? Parts 13 and parts 2.
Well, they folded in, like, they folded all the sheet metal on this. There's actually no place to cut yourself on
Hurrah!
this. Oh, good. They heard the cries of their customers.
So I want to show something off here. Let me bring that zoom level up to maximum, because this is some amazing detail on this piece. Parts 1 and 2 are the actual injection molding thing, and if you look very closely there, you can see some sort of rough spot in the middle. That is, in fact, a blank mold for a gunpla runner. That's the injection site.
That's super cool.
Good God.
You're probably not going to be able to see that very well when the thing is assembled, I'm guessing.
I think it's actually hidden somewhere, to be honest.
Okay. So we'll just pull this cable up through here. Maybe I should have pulled all this up through here first. Yeah.
And now is the time.
Yeah. You know what? Okay, let's unhook this. Wiggle that out. Come on. Whatever you do, don't grab the cables. Or if you do grab the, no, don't grab the cables.
No touch.
No touchy.
No
I'm
touch.
gonna make everything shake on the table here. Sorry, everybody.
No, that's quite all right. This is something I learned over the past year.
Yeah?
If you keep your cameras on stands,
Yeah. Oh, hey, look at that. You can see the table moving, but yeah, the camera doesn't move with it. Okay.
the problem we had for the first few episodes.
So all... I mean, doing a dance here.
As long as it's the monkey.
The way I move is a mystery.
Whoa, is that song referencing Dune?
Come out of there. Gonna make some room for these two things to go down into here. Great.
Here we go.
Okay.
Let's see the other piece.
You guys go in here. Ugh.
Not gonna lie, I am a little bit jealous of that case.
Yeah, it's
nice.
yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of money on it because I wanted something that, like, okay, so I wanted something that could hold 8 drives. So you might be thinking to yourself, well, why? And I'm like, well, because I was looking for something that could hold 5 drives.
Yeah, now that's something I would ask the question of why.
Yeah. So I was looking for something that could hold 5 drives. And what happened was, like, in the process of looking, is I'm like, okay, I can find stuff that holds 4 drives. I can find something that holds 6 drives. That's fine too. But I also don't like the fact that everything that can hold 6 drives, by and large, because you can find a lot of like NAS looking cases that hold 4 drives. Easy, U-NAS sells a 4 one as well, right? But I wanted 5 because I have 5 drives at home already that I'm trying to use. So you find 6. That's a you're mostly looking at just a bunch of like small, like normal ass computer cases, right? And just like really small computer cases. I'm like, okay, well, what else do we have that, like, do they have other cases that hold more drives? Well, Silverstone makes a couple that do. I'm like, oh, there's a couple, huh? And then Fractal makes they make one called the 804, which holds like 12 drives. It holds, it suspends from the ceiling 8 3.5-inch drives and has room on the bottom for like four, like a 2-on-2, like a 2x2 stack, right, of 4 SSDs on the bottom. But the entire one half of the case is just a nothing. It's just completely empty.
Bare, empty.
Yeah, open air, because it's like, well, this is for you to be able to install other things in this space. I'm like, huh, okay, but I don't really want that. That's an affordable case. So I look at the 304, but that's like, this only holds this many drives. And I'm like, oh, that's like 6 or whatever. It was 6 or whatever it was. And I was like, I don't really want to install 6 drives. Like, if I know I can get an 8, and also none of the drives are really that accessible, but I'm not like doing a lot of hot swapping anyway. But I'm just like, what do I want to do here? I'm going to put it up on my NAS lives above my laundry machine. And it's like, I need to go up, and I want to just be able to pull out a thing and put a drive in and put it home and just not really think about it if I can. So then I look at these Silverstone cases, and I'm like, oh, they're cheap. They're like about like $150 or $200 US. That should be easy. $400 to get one in Canada.
Yay.
Through eBay, of all places.
So that, you were getting no cheaper than that.
No. So when I was looking at all that, I just kind of felt like this is not how this is going to work. And then I saw the U-NAS cases, and people were really like of multiple minds on them. And some guys are like, no, I just went ahead and bought a Fractal Design 804, and it has all the space I need, and da-da-da-da. I'm like, yeah, but that case is bigger. And I needed something tiny, and this is tiny, and you can only have it this way. You can't tilt it outside. And so ultimately I was just like, you know what? I'll bite the bullet. I'll buy the really nice case that I can use for a long time. I'm only going to put 5 drives in it. Maybe we'll get to 6 drives, and then that'll be enough.
Oh, we got to go all the way to 8.
Well, eventually I will, right?
Double parity and all.
I really think I have to. Like, it's to be even safer, right? And that's the other nice thing too. XFS drives, you can pull any drive out of Unraid, plug it into a Linux box that understands XFS, and just read all your data.
Yep, just mounted.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's actually kind of also nice. Just let me mount my drive and read it. So, yeah.
So, further report.
Yeah.
It looks like the model that is being injected in this injection model
Yeah.
is the model of the injection molder. The recursion does keep going.
That's so cool. I have to assume that people do have they doing this kind of thing. You do develop a sense of humor over time.
You absolutely have to.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, the Gynax made Otaku no Video, right? Like, the one thing I've never been clear on the provenance of that was because in Otaku no Video they got into Gunpla.
Yeah.
Was that because the guys who were doing Gynax eventually turned around and founded like the gunplay industry?
No. The gunplay industry was well established in that period of time.
Okay.
And like most of the real robot generation of shows,
Right.
were in fact pretty much bankrolled by the model industry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bandai existed before Sunrise.
Right.
It was contemporary with Sunrise,
Right.
who was the animator, and then Bandai eventually ended up buying Sunrise, and then that's how that got a little bit.
Because it's like, hey, why not just do this? It's a great way to just continue to. We can always have a show coming out that is built around stuff that we're going to sell anyway.
The first Gundam model was 1980, says Nigooki, which kind of tracks, given that the first Gundam show was 1979.
Mm. Oh God. Sorry, making decisions.
It's all right. I'm also deciding. Here's the fingernail scritch.
I guess I could plug this one in and I can stuff this out of the way.
Oh, those ones.
Right.
I would snip those right off.
Well, I need this one for this.
Oh, right. Yes.
For those two things, right? But I'm like, well, this also has the tiny one that you can use for like an extra case fan.
A floppy drive.
Yeah, or a floppy drive, right? So, but yeah, I am kind of like, I don't need this. I don't need the SATA power ones because all the power is going into the back plane. But maybe I do need a SATA power one because I need to maybe plug it in a drive eventually. I don't know where I'm going to store all this extra cabling. Everyone has always said that it's like this thing is a nightmare to cable up because it is just, there is next to no room inside the case to hold everything. So I'm probably going to end up just kind of ensconcing some of the cabling into this corner here and just hoping to hell that the front corner is not going to have much of anything in the way.
You're gonna have plenty of space for the cables.
Yeah, because the CPU is going to live here, and there's the intake fan or exhaust fan for over here. I'm pretty sure it's either.
I think this entire area in here is you'll be able to fold up your cables and
Actually,
shove them in.
I think you're right. Yeah, there is room under. That'll be room under the motherboard. That'll be fine. Oh well, then what am I worried about?
As long as you just really bundle them up well,
Yeah.
be fine.
Oh. Shit, what was I worried about?
I mean, you're hiding it in your utility closet.
Yes. And I don't want to call anybody over to have a look inside. But, I mean, unless I do such a good job that I'm like, everyone, come and look inside my NAS.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hopefully you guys will have some proof. When we're done here, I'll be able to tilt it and show you, look at what a great job I did. Praise me!
And let me tell you, the viewers of this particular program do care about cable management.
Ah, yeah. That sounds about right. I can believe that.
2. Okay, step 3, part 2. Take these two things.
Later
This in the middle.
Sorry.
And number 1 also needs to come.
How does that work? Oh, okay.
I think maybe for the next piece I'm going to go straight God hand because I did end up bending the sprue on this, which is going to leave a bit of a mark. Oh, it's not going to be a big mark, but it is a mark. It's a stress mark, which is the worst kind. So you get slightly discoloration
Oh yeah, because they look like
in the plastic.
a little white.
Yeah.
Or something, yeah. Just a little lighter color. God damn. Are these just bent a little funny? Okay, can I plug the other one in? Okay, these 4 look straight.
Yep.
These 4 do not.
Oh, absolutely not.
Great, okay, I'm not out of my mind then.
I mean, you could probably jiggle it a bit and it should eventually work its way into shape. As long as you do have the keystone in the correct direction.
Yeah, reds matching reds, and the keystone seems to damn well better be.
I have discovered through personal experience that it is possible to get those keystones in upside down.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, drives don't last long when that happens. It's back in the SCSI days.
It's like, what do you mean? I'm giving you 5 volts on your 3.3 volt rail. That should be more than enough.
Everyone needs more. All right, so these go like this. This is... Oh, in here? Does it ride the rail? It does not ride the rail. What the what? Okay, so that goes like that. This one is similar.
That one just fit great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Aha, here we go. So this piece, does that connect to there? Yes, it does. These little wings connect to this back end of the piece. Okay, like so. I'm really glad that we don't need to use glue on models anymore these days.
Oh, that they just kind of friction fit, or they...
Yeah, the snap fitting is so nice to not be reliant on glue.
I tell you how I WebMD'd myself?
No. For what reason this time?
Last night on the show. I better sit down so everyone can see that I'm smiling while I say this. So last night on the show, we're playing You Don't Know Jack, and it's that whole thing, the whole question comes up like, what would your doctor diagnose your extreme thirst with? And it was horniness and all these other things. So I was like, okay, horniness and probably hypertension, I guess, because that would mean like you have a sodium imbalance in your body, perhaps, and that also contributes to high blood pressure, and like maybe that might be the whole kind of, that all comes into play. And it wasn't, it was horniness and diabetes. I drink so much liquid every day. I drink mug after, like, I drink stein after stein after stein of, like, Earl Grey tea and, like, all sorts of other stuff. And I'm like, oh no. Like, I just had this
Okay.
moment of, oh shit, I have diabetes.
I was gonna say, I thought that was by choice that you can't drink.
I do. I love, like, but I drink because I'm thirsty, right? And so it's like, oh, well, it's healthy to drink a lot of liquid, and unless you're peeing clear, it's like you're doing a fine job. And I haven't done that in a while, you know, insight into my life, everybody. But I was like, oh no, I'm a diabetic.
Well, this is the scare I had earlier on 2 years ago.
Oh yeah?
I'm pretty sure it was a misreading, but go to a clinic at work, and they do your vitals, heartbeat, heart rate, and then they'll do a little bit of blood, just a wee bit of blood check.
Oh, they're kind of like, we'll just check your blood sugar.
And they're like, your sugar's really freaking high. You should go get that checked out. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I will.
Sure, all right. Did you?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good. Glad to hear it.
Got put on metformin.
Oh.
It was good, and it was really good for me.
Yeah.
And immediately after getting put on it, my blood sugar levels just went to normal.
Oh, good.
And have stayed there. And so we're looking at getting me back off of the form.
Good.
Which is unfortunate because I understand it to be a really good restorative.
Is it?
It just keeps the human body moving.
I imagine the reason they would want you off it, though, is because it's probably hard on one, like, a part of your body or something.
It can be. There are people who do develop an acidosis of the blood.
Okay.
But there can be even more harmful interactions with alcohol for people,
Okay.
which was something I was extremely worried about. Like, am I going to lose my drinky drink?
Mm-hmm.
I can't lose my drinky drink.
Yeah, drawn blood, so that's good.
Oh, good. We got there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need a Band-Aid?
No.
Okay.
Just rinse my hands in your sink and
That's
we'll
fine.
Yeah, I'll suck on it for a while and
Just keep your viral loads to yourself, but your blood is welcome here.
see, years ago, I got put on Lipitor because my LDL is really high, my HDL is just really low, and the explanation we had for that is like, why are you in your 20s and having this problem? Other than the fact that you eat nothing but fried chicken, you know, like that kind of idea. And it's like, well, other than that, like, still, that's a lot for you in your 20s. So, but my mother has high LDL and low HDL, and they're like, this could be a genetic quirk of your blood. So we'll put you in Lipitor. I was like, great. So I was on it for about a few years. I tried doing the diet thing, and when I did my diet, it didn't work. They were like, your LDL's worse. You're like, why didn't you follow your diet? I'm like, I've done nothing but follow my diet for 3 months, and I've eaten nothing but just salads and drinking nothing but water. And what the hell? And they're like, oh, well, exercise? I'm like, maybe, but come on, there's got to be another thing.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, we can put you in Lipitor. And so I came back after 2 years to renew in person my prescription. And they're like, wait, you've been on this for 2 years? I'm like, that doesn't sound great when you say something like that. They're like, you were supposed to be on it for like 6 months to kind of level you out, so we knew what you were, so we get you back in a place that's okay. You shouldn't be on it like for the rest of your life. I'm like, well, I mean, my mom is like, no, that's because when your mom's gonna, like, in 40, 50 years time, when your mom is like on her deathbed, that'll be when her liver is failing anyway. Your liver will start failing at 40. And I'm like, Jesus, you could have used the warning, right? Like, so I came off Lipitor immediately.
Wow.
Yeah, we tried other things, so be aware of that. Any medication you take could have a side effect that maybe your doctor hasn't mentioned to you yet, and sometimes it is just worth looking it up and not freaking out about it.
And also importantly, exercise and diet don't solve everything.
That's very true.
Get yourself a good advocate and check different doctors if you can afford it.
Yeah.
Hey, it is top of the hour, which
Okay.
means this is a good time for us to take a short break here, swap our fluids, recharge our batteries, and we'll be back with more case building and whatever this is in just a few minutes. Don't go away. Welcome back to Tinker Tailor Solder Fry here on the mighty Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network. My name's Ian, and this is Beej.
Hi.
You may recognize him from other shows on this very network.
You may have also recognized my voice as I was talking through the entire break. Did my mic get picked up? Because I didn't mute it.
Oh, no, it's muted on the breaks.
Great.
Don't worry.
Okay. What are you building?
I had a joke there, too, and it's gone.
Yes. You might recognize me from the mighty Loading Ready Run Network.
Yes, that's right. You might recognize... Yeah, I in fact, after a year and a half of doing this solo, barely recognize your face. So
Great.
It's good that the voice is still there.
I'm glad we worked that in.
Yes. What am I building? I'm building a Gunpla model of a Gunpla making machine. It's an Electromotive injection molder, and this is what the Bondi Corporation uses to build Gunpla kits.
Cool.
Like this very thing. What are you building here?
I am assembling my home network attached storage. This is going to be my new NAS, and it is in a U-NAS 810 Alpha chassis. It's nice and small. Will hold 8 drives in the front, hot swappable. And I'm just kind of in that state of I haven't had to assemble a computer for a while, so I'm just kind of like, I want to make sure I get everything right. So we're doing like we did with the guitar that time, where it's like I'm taking my time and I'm probably not going to get anything done, it feels like.
What's the difference between building, when you're an adult and building when you're a kid? At least I remember being a kid and building things like Lego kits.
Yeah.
And just like jamming things together as fast as I possibly can because I want to get it done and I want to. The question always was, why?
Yeah.
Why do I want to get this done? Is it because I want to play with it as a toy? No, because if I'm going to play with it as a toy, I'm going to tear it apart and make something good.
Right, because that's what makes it a toy. Yeah. You revel in the building process, I think, is the idea, and you just kind of get rolling. So.
And I think now that I've had a little time to relax in life, I enjoy taking my time and putting things together well and enjoying the result. Finally.
All right, so I know that we have these Molexes in at the moment. They are what provide power to the drives themselves. So
ancient plugs.
yeah, we're gonna kind of fold that in here for the time being. We're gonna fold more stuff in here too as the build goes on. But it did say in the instructions, because it is nice to read the instructions.
I'm gonna throw us over to the tiny zone. There we go.
Yeah, it does say the first thing, when you get your power supply in, you need to connect the power supply with the backplane through the connectors, which I've done. They call them D-types. And then they say mounting motherboard. They draw a little red square around some... You can find this if you want to see what I'm looking at. It is the U-NAS NSC 810A manual. It's on the U-NAS website. Make sure you look at the 810A because despite them all having the 800 next to them, which basically means it's an 8-drive NAS.
Ah, okay.
Right?
Yep.
Because they have the 400 and whatnot. The 800 is mini ITX. The 810 is mini ITX. The 810A is micro ATX and mini ITX. So they're all slightly different, which means they all have stuff in slightly different positions and slightly different places you can put drives and like internal SSDs and stuff, which is real weird because I'm too used to it being like, hey, we made the 810 and the 810A. And it's like, what's the difference? It's like, oh, we routed a cable differently, or we have a new place for a fan that you can put in. Like, oh, you made a tiny change. Like in this is like, we remade the whole goddamn thing. Everything's all over the place. It's like, cool.
New beast.
Yeah. Shit, I don't remember all the changes we made. Pretty sure we were drunk that night.
It's the best kind of product design.
Just fire whatever you think of at the board and see what sticks. All right, so I don't need that cable, and I don't really need this cable. And if all of those go down in here...
There we go. Now I'm getting these spurs out without any incident.
That's the motherboard. Does this motherboard actually need you to plug in the power delivery to the external ATX 12 volt?
That's probably your.
That would be for a graphics card adapter, right? So it's like.
Well, that might be the processor.
Oh,
power.
okay. Never mind. All right.
Motherboards have a lot more sockets on them nowadays.
They do.
I don't like it. I remember the good old days of the Apple display connector. One cable, audio, video, power, USB, microphones, cameras.
It all plugs into the same hole. Don't worry. We know what we're doing. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to probably install that OS tray, I guess. Why are there so many screws? Oh, no, really?
How many screws do you need to do?
Well, there's 4 to go in, right? But they gave me like 12. And I'm just like, I don't need 12 to hold stuff in place. But how am I going to store these screws unless I like slide it behind the tray and just kind of keep it there? Or I just trust that I'll be able to find these in the future.
I mean, my suggestion would be keep the box.
Yeah.
And then
I'll
stick it in the box.
Or I do have a screw collector. I guess I could put this inside of my parts organizer.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, what if I just like stick this behind the tray and hold all my screws in place? Like, what's that? Oh, that's just me being a Boy Scout.
I mean, really just a piece of gaff tape and on the inside of the top of the motherboard case.
Yeah, that's actually probably fine too. All right, I won't stress it. It's just maybe I'll put this in last. Actually,
Space gun.
Oh, doesn't Machine Man have space gun?
The only weapon. The only weapon that can kill him or bring him back to life.
That's it. Thank you. Motherboard standoffs. I see now why they labeled some screws. Oh, those are flat. They look like they have washers involved. Okay, that's these ones here.
Lady Oreo's got the right idea. Used to install CDs with keys into cases, so I know who had what.
It's a good idea.
That's a really smart idea.
I wish I'd done that when I was working in IT.
Closest thing I think I've done to that in my teens is when we used to have LAN parties back in 1996. We would occasionally stick. We say we. It happened to me from these other people. The printouts of pornography would be printed out and then stuck inside of people's CD trays.
Ah.
And of course, when they got home, or perhaps when their parents, when they got home and hooked up their computer, and their parents said, "Oh, I need to stick in something in the CD drives." Oh, what's this?
Oh, it's my son getting grounded.
Yes.
Then you have to explain that. You're like, why would I do that?
This is the worst place to hide pornography.
Yeah.
If I put it on a CD first, then you won't see it.
And I write the word taxes on it.
14-year-old's taxes.
All right.
Brownie Points. That is a classic image of LAN parties, but the guy duct taped the ceiling.
Oh yeah. That feels like he lost a bet.
I mean, that was exactly the sort of thing we would have done at these things had we not had other activities to be worried about, like playing Marathon for hours on end. And there was one time I got introduced to some really weird stuff at these NetFest as a child.
Okay.
I'm 16. I'm straight-laced as hell, and here I wander into this building that's full of Macintosh computers. And we called them NetFests because the concept of a LAN wasn't even really a thing at the time.
Right. We didn't really refer to them as like a LAN party.
But you roll up on this place, set up my computer, then go upstairs and find out that there are 3 kids from college who just bought a swish barrel and were boiling water to pour water into this peach schnapps swish barrel to extract more alcohol.
Oh God. Wow.
Dumbest idea. Then we all went and played Jumping Flash on the PlayStation because that was new.
I have never seen a box like this in my life. How the hell do you get stuff out of this? You just pull? Yep, you just pull. Hey.
Hey, fresh SATA cables.
Yeah. Don't need those.
Not right now.
All right, so if you just put in chat hashtag, no wait, no, it would be a bang command, wouldn't it? Bang command swish barrel. You can win my SATA cables. No, not really. Don't do that.
Do not tempt chat.
I'm so it's so weird to open, for me, to open a motherboard, to open any sort of to open a motherboard box and not be immediately inundated with 30 different cables for all sorts of different activities. Because it's like, what always, here's all your IDE cables, and here's some SATA cables, and we threw in some of the fan adapter cables, and you need this, you need that, like a whole ton of shit. I opened this, it came with this, and it's like, I don't even need these.
That's it.
Yeah, and it's like, that's all there is.
You got me thinking earlier when you were talking too about.
Where's the I/O shield? What the shit? Where's the I/O shield?
Hold on, was there no literature that came in about that?
God, what the hell am I missing? Anyway, go ahead. Just keep talking.
You were plugging in the Molexes.
Yeah.
And you got me thinking about which connectors have been revised and which still draw breath.
Ah.
Like the Molex is pretty old.
Yeah.
I would expect that to probably go away very soon.
It'd be kind of nice in a way if it did. Be a little bit easier to have something that's like a zero insertion but locks in place. Would be great.
That would be nice. But I do like the Molex simply for its repairability and hackability. Ah, you found the underside.
Yeah, I found the secret passageway.
Oh, with more screws.
Yeah, so more standoffs. May need those. We'll see. And then a bunch of motherboard technical updates. Oh, and a CPU installation update. Please pay attention to the anchor point. That's great. I'm going to need that. And oh, it comes with outdated drivers.
Hey! On a CD.
No.
That's absolutely something you don't need a driver to use.
I was thinking the other day about when we used to plug our CD-ROM drives into our sound cards.
Oh my lord, yes.
Do you remember that was you didn't have enough ports?
I never did that.
Right,
because I had a computer. But
yeah, in the PC world, you'd buy buy it from Sound Blaster. Sometimes you'd buy like the CD-ROM and the sound card together, and it would come with an IDE cable that would plug into the connector that's on the CD card. That plugs into the sound card.
Yep. So the sound card had an IDE channel to it.
Yeah, because it had to, because there weren't usually enough that were on board on the motherboard, because this is like initial kind of PC days. So it's like you plug this thing directly into that, and then eventually it's like these have. There will be enough IDE channels on board. You can do the master slave thing, which we don't call it that anymore. Nope. Thank goodness.
Primary, secondary.
Yeah. So it's like you would do. Then you could start doing that, but they still had this thing of, oh, you can definitely use that channel. It's like, why would I want to run my IDE through my ISA bus? That's when we started learning what all these things meant and how they worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Okay, I've got my I/O shield.
I mean, until you're sitting in a. I don't think you really fully understand the concept of all these different ports. So until you are sitting in a Niigata apartment with two original Xboxes, both of which have the tops pulled off. One of which is fully booted.
Okay.
And the other one needs to be booted, and at exactly the right time, the IDE connectors swapped. Not the powers.
Oh.
The IDEs.
Because you're trying to do the weird booty thing.
Yep, because you have to unlock these encrypted drives.
I'm not going to show installing the I/O shield, guys, because I just moved everything so I wouldn't have to. But, wait, does it go in through the front or the back?
Oh, back.
I would assume so, but it looks like it has a tab here. Oh, no, that's just the tab for that. Okay, never mind.
Those are your
Yeah,
PCI.
exactly.
You might want to actually remove those.
I'm going to have to, because this one's not going to go... Oh,
Oh, no.
no, I think I'm...
Like you're...
Yeah, I'm going to have to remove that. All right. Need that.
Go. Screwdriver.
Probably just the bottom one.
I need part number 20.
Goodbye. Goodbye forever. Oh, found you.
This new booty.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Whoops. Oh, shit.
It's okay.
It's good to have someone to fire pieces at.
Yeah. Do you have an extractor?
An extractor.
Like a little, like, three-prong thing you can go in and grab screws with? Like pinchy poo?
What I do have is this and probably a magnet. If you look on top
Oh, actually, I have a magnet.
And you do have a magnet.
There, we'll just do that.
Give that a try.
I hope it works. The magnet works.
I bet. I bet that magnet really works.
It works great.
Oh wow, it did work.
Yeah, I did get it. It was just like it was sticking to the case.
This is we have the same watch bands, the Apple Milanese loop with magnetic clasp.
Yeah.
My big problem with this is anytime I'm moving a PC case, I will pick it up, and then immediately this will just click.
Do you have okay, I have to ask, do you have the official one or do you have one that came from the internet?
God, no, I'm not going to buy the official one.
Good, okay, because yeah, I feel like the magnets on the unofficial ones are just a little too strong. Like they feel like somebody just grabbed a random magnet and threw it in the thing.
That's true, but you paid, if an order of magnitude that is 2 digits?
I think I paid $19 for mine.
Yeah, same here, as opposed to the official version, which is, I think, in the $500 range.
I think the actual Milanese loop is like 100 or 129. I think it's actually affordable.
It has to be more than that. Wow.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's not. I am more than willing to be wrong on that because what stake do I have in the game, right?
Yeah, I'm still not going to buy the official one, even at that price.
Exactly. Well, thank God I'm still going to have PS2 connectors.
Hey!
Don't tell me I got to take you out too.
I mean, as long as PS2 is still hiding underneath the USB spec, we're never going to get rid of them.
I think I got it in there. It feels pretty good. Okay. I can't actually shove this thing all the way back in because the I/O shield is actually a little too. There we go. Okay.
Hey.
Yeah, good. Got there. It's like, wow, that's not great, but it'll do. Oh, stand up again.
Those are not great, yeah.
Whew.
This goes this way. I can
Tolerances
tell.
are very close.
Bandai Hobby Center, 2006. Electromotive style injection machine. You can tell what it is because there's a little plaque that tells you. Ah. Aha, there's the light.
Oh, cool. Need to find a way to like draw that out. Like whenever I watch My Mechanics, and he does the thing where it's like he uses ferric chloride to etch into brass because he puts a design on it, and then he like uses a laminator to make the ink stick to the brass, and then he masks off everything else, and the exposed brass is like because he prints it in reverse. Then he pours ferric chloride over that, lets it sit for 20 minutes, and etches into only the exposed letters. So now he's got the embossed. Debossed?
Emboss? Yeah, embossed.
Embossed.
Push into.
Yeah, he's got the embossed letters into it, and then he takes some nail polish and he just paints it on, and then he just squeegees the whole thing off.
God, I love those.
It looks so cool when that happens, and I'm just like, you need to figure out a way to do it with that. That's not gonna make it look like a globby mess, I guess.
There probably is a way. It's not going to be something I'll be doing, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
At least not for this. But.
Okay. Install the I/O shield.
This is the way. Oops.
Yeah, the one thing they don't give you is the micro ATX shield. They only give you a mini ITX shield. So the shield that goes on this goes right here and is much too small. So it goes like that. Maybe?
Cover the whole thing.
Yeah, it lives at the right spot where all the things are supposed to go, but it's like it's not going to make it all the way down. Like this.
It's probably fine.
It's probably fine.
Yes.
I'm gonna try not to worry too much about it. I have no idea. Oh, there we go. Perfect. I had it right the first time. Oh shit, that one doesn't work. Does that work?
No.
Does that work?
No.
No. Oh wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3. I 3-ish.
1, 2, 3. HDMI.
Yeah, great. That'll do. Close enough. And I guess I have to put the CPU in here and do all the other stuff because I have to get this in.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea if when you install CPU coolers these days, if you have to screw in through the bottom.
Yes, you definitely want to be doing all of your CPU and cooling stuff before you install it into the
Sounds good.
machine.
I can put the RAM in afterwards, I think. Yeah, I'll be fine.
In fact, honestly, I find that when putting it in, the CPU cooler itself provides a very good grip point.
I know it sounds foolish.
It sounds foolish, but it's
yeah.
it should be, if you attached it correctly, attached directly to the substrate in 4 very hard points.
Okay. Okay. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, and it's something dead center, so.
Texan's a little worried here that it's got a plastic shield, does not have risers for the motherboard to sit upon.
Okay, so it has, the case has the case has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 risers in the case. I could show you that. I can't because I'm not going to move stuff around yet. But I will show you when I get everything into here and we move this out of the way. I'll show you where the risers are. But it also comes with 2 more riser.
Ooh, riser nuts.
Yeah, and I don't know why because I'm like, I can, like, I'm like, these 2 here must have to screw into 2 more slots there. I'm assuming that's if you have the microwave, but it's like all the 7 points of harness or 7 risers that are in there are spread out enough to hold a micro ATX board. It looks like that's what they're designed to do. So yeah. We'll get busy living or get busy dying. I have cracked the Intel factory seal.
11 herbs and risers is what I'm thinking now.
And I am pretty sure I can't zot a CPU with static discharge, can I? Or because I always knew you can do that with RAM. I just didn't know if you could do that with CPUs or not. I assume you can, but
yeah, I think you might be able to, but I think you touch the outlet.
Yeah, okay,
That's always been my go-to.
Oh yeah, if you're worried, then just do that. I have this big ass Intel cooler that I'm not going to use either.
Oh, we got a fresh cooler.
Yeah, just brand new cooler that I don't need.
Keep it in box. They're not terrible.
I can't use it in this, but I might be able to find another place. It's true. I am looking forward to having my very first Noctua device. Right? Everyone says they're so great.
My God, I recently bought 2 23 millimeter. Is it? Whatever the big fans are.
140s?
Yes.
Yeah, they're really big. Yeah.
Bought 2 Noctua 140s for the PC, the gaming PC, and it's great because it dropped by. I think Cameron also did a very similar thing. It dropped by 20 degrees.
Wow! Holy shit! That's amazing.
Going from zero extra fans to that.
This is also the first time I've ever purchased a CPU that was more than $100. So.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, that's.
Welcome to 2020.
Yeah. God.
Inflation's a bitch.
Well, this was on sale. This was, like I say, it was $240, and then it was $80 on top of that. It would have cost if I didn't buy it on sale. We looked at a Core i3, and I'd also thought about what if we. You're welcome. The Core i3, I was like, well, what if we just went straight down to like a Pentium or even down to a Celeron? And it was like the amount of savings versus the difference it's going to make.
Yeah.
You might as well go from the $189 that the Core i3 is. Why not just jump up to paying $220 or $240 or whatever it was for this thing? I'm like, fair.
The diminishing returns are pretty quick.
Yeah. So, this I know will work great. And I have the money right now, so I'm going to be okay with paying the money.
And this is a long-term build. This is not something that's going to sit and, God willing, this will be a 10-year computer for you.
That's my hope. All right, install processor first, then remove and keep the cover. Well, place this cover while removing processor or returning motherboard. All right.
I recently saw a video. Make sure that if there's a film on top of your processor to remove that.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on it.
Rather, I didn't see a video. I saw a link to a video, and then I got angry because it was one of his tech tips, and then couldn't stop looking at it because it kept sitting there in my display.
Oh, okay.
Dear Tech Channel, please disable previews for Linus Tech Tip videos.
It's some of us at the Moonbase are fans. I'm not, but I think that's.
Oh, I know there are fans.
Yeah.
There are a lot of fans out there.
Yeah.
But this is my show.
Yes.
You're not a Linus fan at all. No.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
He might not be a fan of our work.
I honestly, what gif is that? Don Draper on the elevator. I don't think about you at all. .jpg.
Yeah, that's fair.
Except I do. That's the problem.
Oh, okay. So I open this up. I slam this thing down before any dirt can get inside.
In the correct orientation.
Yeah, it does say put the anchor points on that side, and those are the anchor points. It looks like it's actually keyed to not do anything else. It feels like, is that how like the ball grid array shit works these days? Is that it's just like you put it on top and it just kind of sits there? You don't have to slide it into points anymore? I cannot tell if there's a...
I don't believe you have
it doesn't
one.
seem to look like one.
That looks like matte metal.
Great.
Oh. Your cover.
Yeah, well, here's the weird thing. It's like, A, put the thing back down with the cover on it. B, screw it into place. Okay. Oh, I need a hex screw. What the hell? Big ass hex screw.
Big ass hex screw. Try that one.
Okay.
Looks about the right size.
And it is. Yay. Need a big ass hex screw.
Yes, here we are.
Yeah, it didn't even tell me to unscrew that initially, so I'm guessing the idea is you unscrew it, you pull the thing forward.
Oh, yeah, and then you lock it down under the screw.
I guess, yeah, and then you pull this. Okay, we undo that, I guess. And everything just comes off in the wrong way.
Oh, that's probably Corey returning.
Yeah. I'm waiting for somebody in chat to be like, "You're doing it wrong." And I'm like, "Okay, great. Tell me what I'm doing wrong." It feels like it's caught under the head of the. Oh, I see.
Oh, yes.
It's got a lip on it already, so it actually will just catch into there on its own. So it's like, make sure the screw is there. That's why it's circled.
So actually, I didn't even ask you this myself before we started doing this. When was the last time you put together a PC on your own? Not to call you out.
No, but that's fair. Because I didn't do Heather's.
That's right.
She did her own on Tinker Tailor, I think.
Stream.
Yeah. Was it my Athlon XP?
Holy moly.
Yeah, I think I had a Duron 750 that I ended up not using that because you could get that thing up to like 1300 or something. And then my next build after that was this Athlon XP that I got. I'm pretty sure that was the last PC I built. It's still in its Leon Lee case. All aluminum. I should have sold you that case. I really should have sold you that case because no one's gonna want that case.
Good God.
Jesus, you just needed a case. I should have just been like, sure, $100, go nuts.
That would have been, I would have been there.
Yeah. Dumb of me that I didn't do that. But if somebody needs a PC case, I'll probably sell it to them. And because that case cost me over $200 brand new.
Good case, too.
It was a good case.
Still a good case.
Yeah, and just doesn't have like front USB ports, but yeah. But yeah, that was a while ago. And so all this stuff is very new. Like a lot of the IT work that I was doing at like colleges and stuff was largely, here's a Dell Optiplex GX270, 260, 270, 280. Your job is to pop those things open and change a thing out if it needs to be changed out. But ultimately, we have a standing 3-year warranties. It's all through colleges, so it's like we have warranties all the time and all this shit. And when we're done using it, we're gonna just it gets bumped further and further down the chain until it's unusable anymore. And then we'll either we donate them to the we either Frankenstein together to make good ones, and we get rid of the old parts, or we just end up donating the old things to Alberta has the government of Alberta has like a storage facility where they get donated to, and then the storage facility like
Liquidates something?
well, they work them all out and they're like, what's still usable? Okay, and they send them to schools.
Oh god, that'd be great.
Yeah, interesting thing to do. But again, largely, I'm not working on standard PC stuff. I'm working on somebody's custom builds, right? Like Dell's custom builds.
Which are not in any way standardized.
No. Though when the BTX boards came out,
BTX.
yeah, so they did a thing. So the ATX was a thing. BTX was like supposed to be the next thing. And what it was is that the CPU was oriented in a way that was right in front of the case fans on the front.
That's great.
It was a great idea. And it was like, we're going to reorient a bunch of stuff in here so that the CPU is dead in front of that. We're going to have all these channels set up for cooling and whatnot. And that way, when the air is blowing through, it hits the CPU first and it helps get cool air to the CPU immediately. You don't need as heavy fans in your heatsink and whatnot. But then ultimately, it never really kept. Like, it was like just not a thing that people wanted to do. Like, yeah.
Might have been, yeah, who knows?
It was a neat idea. I just think ultimately it's like, I don't think it was ever going to penetrate the market because no one wanted to stop making ATX stuff. And then you're kind of like, great, now I bought a BTX computer, what do I do with it? I can't put ATX in it because nothing's set up right.
And that's the problem then too, yeah, is that you have to make the cases to go with it.
Yeah.
And if you're not making the cases, no one's going to buy it because it's not a computer.
Exactly. All right, you look like you're done.
62MG Cobra had a BTX. And it was dead as standard. Was it dead standard? You built your own.
Yeah.
Huh. Just about done. Got a few more pieces here left. And then we have to apply the stickers,
Okay.
which I've always been wary of. Because I like the idea of decals,
Okay.
because they're transparent, you can get a lot more finer detail on them, and they don't have quite as much of a lip over the edge.
And you mean like water applied decal?
Yeah, the water slide decals.
Yeah, yeah.
But having now done that O'Neill colony build and done the spray on top of it, next time when we're on break, I'll break it out again. But you can run your fingernail across the edge to where the sticker is, and not be able to, like, you can dig your fingernail in there if you really wanted to, but it provides enough of a surface that you can't even just lightly peel the sticker off.
That's cool.
It's like it's part of the model.
That's really cool.
That's how I've always wanted my models to look.
So here's the thing I didn't realize. So these are for the 1150s, right? This is an Intel type. It's LGA 115X. This is LGA 1200. But apparently, because I was like, oh God, Texan, are we gonna have a problem with this? And he's like, no, because when they made the LGA 1200, they made it in a way that was backwards compatible with every LGA 1150 cooler.
Oh, thank God.
And they kind of leaned into the presentation.
Whoa!
Right?
No, I didn't get a knock to a badge.
Yeah. I'm buying a cooler, I guess. I earned a little more there. But yeah, they really kind of just look at this nice thing. They've got like, dear customer, congrats on choosing this thing. Enjoy it. Yours sincerely. And it looks like it's either signed in ink, because it's in blue. And I'm like, why would you have printed that in blue? Or it's just like that they did print it in blue.
I'm remembering now going through, the unboxing of the big Noctua fans too, and being extremely impressed with the whole procedure. And honestly, I don't want to call it Apple-like because I'm mad at Apple these days. But care has been placed into this. Good on the Germans for Noctuaing.
Designed in Austria.
Austria.
Yeah. Huh. Made in Germany, maybe? I don't know. But designed in Austria. Okay, so it's like, prior to installing, please go to the compatibility list. I'm not going to worry about that. I need 4 of their screws, which they have here. I need to apply thermal paste. Put 1 small drop, 4 to 5 millimeters in diameter, of NTH1 on the center of the heat spreader. Okay.
I have absolutely been using the wrong nippers. Do you have time to do a quick comparison test?
Sure.
Clip this with this.
Okay. I have never used either of these before, so I have no idea. Okay.
And make note of the amount of pressure you required and the accuracy, etc.
Okay. kind of pinches it a bit, but ultimately cut through pretty good.
But yeah.
Pretty decent, yeah. Yeah, I didn't have trouble cutting it.
I'll go with those.
Okay. Let's get that up a little bit more. Jesus. Wow. It's like I've cut things like this before where you just kind of like fall through it.
Yeah.
That extruded frickin' it felt like it felt like it was cutting a red vine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like licorice, soft eating licorice.
Yeah, it's nothing there. It just felt like soft eating licorice. Yeah.
And let's just have a look at the difference in the edge here too, just because I find this really fascinating. So that was your edge done with the
yellow
cheek
handed
holders.
ones. Yeah.
We flip it around. That's the God hand cut.
It's the cleanest thing. Like it looks like I cut a candy cigarette.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. Yeah. And there was no resistance. It just kind of went right through it. I understand now why people use them.
Yeah, and why I'm using them wrong.
Yeah. Okay, so put a pea drop of stuff in here. Do not ingest. Okay. You're the boss.
You may want to remove the end.
Is that a cap?
Yes, that is a cap.
How does that come off?
It twists.
Oh, good. Okay. I was like, I'm sure it's a cap, isn't it? Great.
I'm very specifically not putting this on screen because everyone has opinions about how you're supposed to.
Seems a bit much. I don't know. Maybe it's a bit much.
Having, if I can offer an opinion,
Yeah.
having recently had to redo this for myself,
Mm-hmm.
that's the correct amount.
Oh, okay.
You think it's too much, that's good.
That's probably going to do it. Okay, that's great.
Otherwise, you won't actually get coverage.
That was my worries. I was like, am I going to have to do like the 5-dot thing, or like everybody has a different? It's like, do you draw zigzags? Do you just do you get a credit card and just smooth it all out yourself? And it's like, I would like to just do it the way that, just do it. I just like to do it and be done with it. Oh, you're heavy. Oh my God.
I like MWGNZ's take on it. You should definitely use thermal paste.
That is a metal badge.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was going to be plastic. Jesus.
Put that on your car.
Yeah, maybe. It's like, how is your car cooled? By Austrian fan. See, it is a Volkswagen. Volkswagen.
Does Mach 2 branch out into turbochargers?
Probably not.
They'd be the most hated turbochargers because they wouldn't make any noise.
Now, is the method knowing where my fan is going to be located? Does this actually go on one way, or do I actually have some choices?
You have four orientations you can choose.
Okay.
My advice would be find out where it plugs in so that you have the least amount of cable slack.
That's a good idea. Yeah, to pull that out, don't I? God, looking at some of their designs, they have one that is just heat pipes that come up from, there's just a spreader and there's heat pipes that come up and it's kind of like a weird C, and the heat sinks, it's about this tall. Like it's just right above the motherboard. And then you can put the fan on top. And the whole reason for that is so that you're avoiding things that are going on the bottom. Or you can put the fan underneath and like use up that space. And I was like, this is such a weird design for a...
That's actually the design I've got on the NAS server that I'm using at the moment.
Okay.
But if you go real hardcore, you put a fan on both sides.
Oh, right, yeah. CPU fan 1. So I could do it from here, or I could do it from here. Oh, if I do it like this, it uses up a little more of the cabling. If I do it like this, that's not enough. So probably better to do it like this.
So you want to use up the cabling, but
Yeah, if I have too much sitting out, then it's gonna make like that weird kind of U, right? But if I do it like this, I'm gonna have to stretch it out a bit, and it's gonna just sit alongside the fan anyway. It's less exposed cable. Christ, I don't know. And so you place the heatsink on CPU and fix it to the rear side of the motherboard using the mounting screws. So you do this. God, for a guy with no depth perception, trying to just make this shit make sense. It's like, oh, where does this go?
And remember, you're going down and never up.
Yeah.
Got lots of alcohol if you need to redo that, so don't worry.
Might need to, we'll see. Okay, so we went down, and then you have to put your screws in through the bottom.
Ooh, I've got stickers to apply now.
Does this literally, there's no clips, there's no sort of like, it's literally just 4 screws through the bottom, and that's how it works these days?
Yeah.
Holy shit. God, we used to have to force stuff.
Well, actually, if you look at your Intel cooler, you still have those force-through plastic clunks that are just held open with the... Ooh, boy.
It's sliding around a whole bunch.
Yeah. Oh, well.
God, I hope, well, I mean, I can pull it up and have a look to see if I actually covered everything or if I've really just fucked it all up. Do we take the chance? Well, it's a let's try, right?
Yeah,
it's a let's try.
It's your call, but yeah. I have faith that it's good.
There's no real easy way to tell, is there?
No.
Okay, well, I'm gonna just believe that it's good. Shit.
That might be less good.
That's less good now. All right, so we're just gonna... It's really fucking stuck on there, actually.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, okay.
I just lift up the motherboard straight up
and
and
get
then
it straight up in the air.
try to get one screw in.
Yeah. Screw. Okay.
Where am I going here? I need Shiru A. I can tell it's A because it's written right there.
Oh, the 4 things end up bending. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, there is still tension, but
That's good.
let's get that seal out there. And that has to go on this side.
Let's get everything finger tight, I guess, to begin with.
Yeah, and then you just tighten it up until you hear the CPU go bing.
Number 4.
There we go.
We can probably flip it over now. It's got 3 screws in place. It's going to hold itself. Just watch the whole thing just fucking fall off. Clang and like, oh, good. The whole day is ruined. Okay, now I need a big ol'... Oh, that will work. Okay.
Right.
How torquey does this get? Could I actually rely upon this, do you think, to...
You'll be able to get everything in there,
but not actually...
and you'll probably just want to polish it off at the end.
Okay. So do this like that. Oh, God. Drop a big, heavy screwdriver onto my motherboard. All right. Good. And then just kind of...
Yeah, give it a half.
Yeah. It certainly does feel like it only wants to go out just a little bit more, so... I guess it's a nice thing about using... It's like, you wouldn't use Robertson here, because you'll really ruin it. If you use Phillips, at least it cams out, so... All right.
Aussie drive.
It is, isn't it? That looked like Posi Drive instead of Phillips.
So I recently found out the reason why.
Oh, yeah?
You don't have Phillips in the States.
Why is that?
Fucking Ford Motor Company.
Really?
They used to use the Robertson
Okay.
because it's a good one, but it was too much of a licensing cost.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yep.
So I only need to use 2 of these 4 slots of RAM right now. So if this kind of hangs out over top of one of the RAM slots, I don't really mind.
Probably.
Yeah, it's going to hang over B1. So if I just put these in A2 and B2, we're fine. Because the other way to do this would have been to rotate this around to the other side. Then it would have been right here, and I could have ran it over to here.
I would have snaked through behind that capacitor.
Oh, yeah. Actually try to get it underneath.
So that's probably a fool's errand at this point.
Yeah, that's really still really, really close. So, all right, well, we're here now.
On here.
I'm not going to throw away all that other stuff. So,
The one seal on there. Have I missed any other sticker sections? I have not.
okay, good. That's a PWM fan. Okay.
Oh, I could use E. Ah,
Oh.
that there's so these symbols
Mm-hmm.
are convention within Bandai model building, and this symbol here means that you need to do things on both sides of the part in a mirrored fashion. Flip it over, and we get that other sticker on the other side. Hurrah!
I see. I see. There is a there's a little cutout on the side of the fan that lets you route the wiring up to the
Nice.
top if you need to, instead of having it stick out the side. So I might be able to even do that, hopefully without damaging the. Yeah, look at that. Just I'll show that in there. You can kind of see.
Let me get the.
You can kind of see it kind of went past that little tab,
There we
the
go.
wiring. So I had to finagle it in there.
They are nice fans.
Mm-hmm. So it sticks up a bit. Oh, whatever.
Ideally, you are never going to look at this again.
Well, and also the air is supposed to flow this way. It's supposed to come in from this side of the case, or it's supposed to come in from this, whatever side, because the fan's over here. I'm like, the air's going to come in one way or the other, and it's going to blow across either way. And because the heatsink is oriented this way as well, it's going to blow through that as well. I'm sure that'll help it, and it'll all make its way out how it's supposed to. Yeah, I don't have to worry too hard about that. That's that though. That is that piece, and that means the RAM is the last piece.
It's super easy, isn't it?
Yeah, God, it's. I keep waiting for it to be hard, and I keep freaking out a bit because it seems like it's supposed to be hard. Let's just do the RAM, I guess, right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I'm getting very close to completing this as well. So
I'm guessing that the heat spreaders on these things. It's so weird buying tribal RAM.
yes,
How do you want to refer to this? Quake RAM? I don't know what you want to call it. It's so edgy.
the wings upon it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. If it's a choice between wingy RAM and lit RAM,
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the wingy.
Mm.
If those are my two only choices. If I have any choice at all, I'll just take bare chips on a board. Thank you very much.
Yeah, without a heat spreader. Yeah. This was already quite cheap, so we opted for that.
I just like my computers to look like computers. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
If I want a shoe, I'll buy some shoes.
Hang on, dude. Do both sides pop down still? Is this a change?
No, both sides do not pop down these
Thank
days.
you for telling me.
Yeah, that got me too. All the sort of stuff they don't teach you in school these days.
It's like all these, like, oh shit, let's watch the old man assemble a modern computer. All right. But I'm guessing it is a push down and then it clicks in. That's great.
Don't forget to number your IRQ ports, Grandpa.
Oh, Christ. Okay, you, though, were the kind of people who used to give my kind of people shit
Yes.
about that. Yeah.
And also, you didn't see the episode of me trying to work with an Apple II GS. Thank you again.
Oh, did they have IRQs?
They got their own
Definable ones?
definable addresses.
Okay.
It's not as it's not as
Friendly as it should be.
yes,
Yeah.
but it is definitely not as hostile as DOS was.
I guess it's maybe like also a way to think about that from the old days, that it's like I was watching the 8-bit guy talk about how the Apple I worked, and watching him talk about like how Commodore 64s and like all these other and VIC-20s and everything work, and it's just kind of like, right, the kind of stuff that you had to do back then, because every part, like extra dip switches or other things that are configurable, like if you gave people options to use those things, every part was going to cost like another buck or two. And you're just like, I'm losing money on this computer
Adding more and more.
yeah, as I'm trying to build it. And it's just like, yeah, this is not an acceptable option. So I really felt like, oh, it's a really, that was the way that it was. And then of course we get into PC building, and just as they kept adding more and more stuff, we were like, cool, thank you for adding more and more. Hey, hang on a second, you're adding more and more stuff. How are we going to make that all fit? Oh, don't worry, we're going to give you expanded RAM and extended RAM. And like, oh, Christ, how's that going to work? Well, you're going to make a boot disk.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. This doesn't want to go in. Like, it does not want to just...
I think you need to set the other side, for the stationary side first, and really get it in there.
Okay, so I got to...
And yeah, and then you kind of just push down on one side.
Okay, so that kind of...
Yeah, there's the side keying is what matters these days.
Okay. Let's see. I'm happy that the because of the heat spreader, it's like I'm not touching any bare electronics on the RAM like I used to. So it's okay. They're both in the slots, but I need to get that to go down. That to go down. There. Okay. They're in.
Nice.
Great. Awesome.
Whew. Sorry, I had my head in there most of the way, but these Windows stickers are a real pain.
That's all the pieces that go in that.
Great.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a huge jump. And now it is. I got a G-Skill sticker. Just move all this shit off the table.
I love that you get all these stickers that you're never gonna put on.
No. Why would I want to take that away from the look of my rig, right? So I have a whole bunch of shiny shit on it.
I have taste, damn it.
At least that's what I tell myself. I tell myself I have taste. I don't need this. I do need to keep the plastic shield because they told me to. Move the cooler out of the way. Let's just kind of get some things off here.
2 people to always listen to. Your wife and your warranty provider.
Where the hell did these come from? These are more like little riser.
Oh yeah, tiny standoffs.
Yeah. Why?
2 extra ones.
I guess. Okay. Great. I don't know what they're for.
Sorry, I got no help for you there.
Yeah, that's. I don't know if they. Wait, they might be for the CPU cooler. The Intel CPU cooler. Because I didn't recognize these. I'm like, I don't know what these are for. Well, they're probably for the CPU cooler that I was barely looking at. Don't need this.
Sensible.
Okay, slide this out of the way for the time being. Okay, everybody, the chassis is coming back.
Hey, our friend.
We get to watch this process. Now, I am being like, I have $500 worth of computer parts about to go into a $500 worth of chassis, and I'm just like, that's a lot of money to me. Maybe it's not to any of you who built your own rigs, but let me tell you, this is more than I expected I was going to be paying. But for an 8-bay NAS, $1,000 is kind of okay.
Remember what you paid for your Drobo the first time.
Yeah, that was like just over $700.
Yeah. And when it broke, you had to buy a new computer.
Yeah, that's true. Well, there's lots of space in here. Yeah, good news, Texan and everybody else. It turns out that there's way more space in this case than I thought there would be. I don't know if you can tell on the side, but like this thing lines up to the edge, and there's just, you can see beyond it, there's even more bare metal past the like holes and stuff past there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a good thing overall. Let's see if I'm going to be able to put down all of my screws.
That's always the hope, isn't it?
Yeah, the 2 there, 1 there. Is there one other one up there?
Let's just be good.
Okay.
Watch me here.
1 there.
On the inset.
1 there. There's 1 over there that is not going to connect to anything. I should try to get this under something then.
Hate doing that. Off by a fraction of a millimeter.
Oh no.
Luckily, I was able to get it up off without damaging the sticker or anything, but that is one of my least favorite things to
I'm
happen.
going to try not to bump the table for a bit while you're doing that. I'm just going to see where all these things are going to go.
I appreciate that, but I think we've got this piece where it's supposed to be. Whew! Is it even in camera? Yes, it is. Great, there it is. Aha. This one's going to be easy to spray. Okay.
It doesn't go there.
Those ones. And then we've got one more part. We've got one more piece to do in a second, and then that's it.
Let's go there. This could go here. Yes. And that's one of the risers I need. Okay. There is that one. There's no hole. So I'm going to ask a question. So hard for me to point this out. There's 2 riser screws on this edge of the case. The board touches them, but there's no screw holes in the board. Should I drill some holes in my board?
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I would happily assist you.
Yeah, I know. Do I take the risers out where I don't need them? Because I have extra risers anyway, but do I take the risers out where I feel like it's going to, because they're round as well, I'm like, they're a little hard to get out, but I'm like, do I try to remove that riser? Do I try to put a piece of plastic, like tape across it so I don't impact anything that might touch the board? Because it is right in the corner.
Honestly, don't think it's necessary, but if you're worried, let me give you a piece of pliers here and you can try to twist one of them out and see if that...
Yeah, it's literally going to touch like that corner where there's a whole bunch of traces.
Oh, geez, yeah, that's...
And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to have that happen. That was great, though. Got to get everybody pretty bad. That felt good.
Is it coming?
I can't tell. I turned it a few times. It felt like I turned it a few times.
Like they might not even be threaded.
They might just be riveted.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That seems like it's just kind of put in place. And there's Loctite on them, so.
I've got some gaff tape around here somewhere if you'd like to use that
Yeah,
to cover things over.
I think that might be the thing to do. I might just, yeah. And then at least it's got something to sit that corner on.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. If you have a piece of electrical tape or gaff tape, I'll just put a little square over
I'll
it.
be right back.
Okay.
It's great now that I can actually walk around wirelessly. It looks like I'm not even leaving the stream unintended.
Absolutely. I
And
mean,
you're
I'm
here.
here. I'm here too, but you know, my face is off camera, and I'm probably not good. Not the best company maybe for the audience. What do I know? The question
There we
is,
go.
are these other ones?
Take your pick.
Oh, they are. Thank God. Okay, that is a place where there's a thing. Tape and adhesive. Now, kind of tempted to just put danger tape, but
Need that for the next Desert Bus button.
yeah. Let's just use a bit of this green tape. I said to Heather the other night, I was like, I am using up all of the duct tape in our house for our box fan filter thing we got going on, and after we use it all up, I am never buying it again.
Duct tape is the
It
worst.
is the worst. It is the worst, the worst. So, yeah, that's a, I'll just hang that up.
Like for all of the mythology that it has, especially in Canada, thanks very much, Mr. Red Green, and MacGyver, I've never had a duct tape do what I wanted it to do
Right.
properly.
So I made one of those box fan filter things you pointed me at, where it's a box fan, and it's the triangle ones where you take two big filters. I bought 20 by 24s.
Yep.
And then you make a triangle out of them so they're on the side. You take the cardboard out of the box that you bought the box filters in. You cut that to fit on the top and the bottom, and you duct tape all that stuff together, and then you duct tape it to the fan, and you seal all the many holes so the air has to come through there. So, oh, that's very nice of Elle. Thank you, Texan. So the problem has been is that as it's been getting warmer here, all the duct tape doesn't want to stick to cardboard.
Yep.
One of the things in the world that everything sticks to.
It's meant to be adhered to and then ruined as the tape comes off.
Exactly. And it's like it just got warm here, and all of a sudden it just starts to peel away. And then I'm like, okay, well let's put that down. You know what? I'm going to use even more. I'm going to use even more duct tape. I'm going to use different duct tape I have in the house, and then that starts to peel away. So I start putting extra duct tape on top of that to seal that. It still just keeps peeling away from everything, and I'm like, it just cannot.
And it would be fine if it peeled away cleanly. But what it leaves behind is this oily adhesive that sticks to nothing but itself and dust.
Yeah, and I'm like, duct tape is supposed to stick to itself incredibly well, but even here I'm like, oh, it doesn't want to stick to itself either, and I don't know what the hell's going on. So I'm planning on just using a bunch of it until it's all gone. Somebody is asking, how do you put, Lysander is asking, how do you put the fan to the filters? You put the filters on the intake side, so it draws air through the filters and blows out just a straight stream flat on the front. Some people get clever and they build, they'll buy 4 filters, they'll build a box of that, they'll turn it on its end, and they'll have it suck in air from the sides and blow it out the top. I've seen many designs. Ian did me a mitzvah though, and he had printed out you 3D printed some clips for a fan that you can just slide a filter in the back of, and you can have just one fan in front of a thing. And some people have said, oh, that's really bad though, because you only have one filter. But it's not, because somebody tested and they're like, the amount of air that's blowing through it only drops a tiny bit, which means that it's still pulling as much as it can, and the load on the fan is actually not that much more. It barely registers on their devices.
Perfect.
And I was like, oh, so I don't need to have 2 big fans and whatever. I should just go with the one fan thing. So next time I'm going to do that.
But yeah, a nice cheap air filter if you're in need of them, and I know a lot of you out there are.
Yeah. Depending on the part of the world you're living in right now, you definitely need an air filter.
IKEA.
Yeah.
Is making a new line of air filters. Well, they've got a line of air filters already.
Okay.
That they've been using, which are pretty nifty. They're the ones that sit in the corner. But they just released a brand new set, which is a coffee table with an air filter built in just underneath the table portion.
Oh, cool.
So it's like, oh yeah, now this thing that just normally just takes up space and makes your air clean,
right,
is also a table in addition to taking up space and keeping your air clean.
Probably doesn't have a terribly loud fan in it, so it kind of just. Audio machine.
Turns out that
it's fine.
The audio.
Just wait.
There we go. There we go. Now we're back.
The magic has come back. It has returned.
When a computer turns off, that means that generally all the parts that are connected to it also turn off, including the camera, which needs to be reminded that I do trust this computer. I mean, that's saying a lot. For the purpose of this, yes. That is a trust. Okay, and then where's my iOS camera?
I'm having the hardest time, chat, right now, trying to figure out how I use this goddamn plastic I/O shield. No, not I/O shield, motherboard shield. How I would even bother using this on this goddamn board. because it won't stay in place while I'm trying to put, and it's like, oh, well, just, put it next to the motherboard and then you'll install it. And it's like, but I can't reach the damn thing because it's like, it's all sliding around and it's not in the right spot. And I don't know what I'm going to do. So that's what I've been fighting with for the last little bit. Ian's been getting the computer back up and running again, so.
There's been a lot of fighting, but we're back. We're back. How are you? How's things down in the computer world?
I hope you didn't mind that extended break. And if you did, don't tell us about it.
Send your complaints to null@loadingreadyrun.com.
Have we even set that up? I don't know if we have.
Really should, because otherwise that's going to whoever gets the inbox.
Yeah. I don't know what happens when we have non-existent. I think it goes to whoever the mailmaster is.
Yeah. I think that's the default for Google domains.
Clink, clink.
I have 3 more stickers that need to be put on. Oh, wait, maybe 4. Coup is a sticker as well. I find it interesting that they've chosen to label the stickers with katakana.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But are they katakana but Japanese words?
No, just literally just a katakana for each sticker.
That's kind of cool. Okay.
And I think that's simply because they use alphanumerics for the runners themselves.
And you're always going to have less. Wait, there's lots more kana than there is. Right? But the runners, okay, A1, A7, A9, yeah, A15. I just feel like this is a ridiculous process of put this plastic sheet in place. That's what I'm doing right now. You can see this little plastic sheet. It's like, put the plastic sheet in place on top of where the screws go. Great. Now slide the motherboard in on top. It surely won't move the plastic sheet, will it? Surely it won't move the plastic sheet.
Would you like a dot of super glue or something?
I don't know what you're supposed to do to make it sit. Like it's like, get this sucker in, which is fine. Get it down, and then it's like, okay, we'll get it almost on top. Ease the I/O through the shield, and be 6 millimeters away from actually landing the things on top of where the riser's supposed to go. So it's like, okay, now shove it.
Oh, how many of those twist ties do you have left?
I got a big one. It's a very big, long one. I just rubbed this on the thing. I'll find it. Here we go.
Okay, because here's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
If you just do something like this.
Oh, drop it through the thing and then pull it out. Yeah.
Or twist tie it to the motherboard.
Right. And then when it's on top, it's in the right spot. Just unloosen the twist tie and pull it out.
Or actually, and now I'm thinking of the easiest thing to do, just a little bit of tape around the edge of the side of the motherboard.
Oh, to hold it in place.
Tape the shield to the motherboard just on the one side.
Right, where I can remove it.
Yep. And then settle it down.
Get it in the spot.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's a great idea.
Boom.
Yeah, okay.
Hey!
This is why you're you're our let's try guy.
You're the one trying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just what they call an ideas man. I'm looking for investment opportunities.
Release. Boy, we missed that, eh?
You've been in beta for so long.
I don't even know. Do you think the microphone was sensitive enough to pick up that sound?
We'll find out. It's a question of did it make it through the noise gate? Because you are currently gated and compressed.
Oh, okay, okay. You know, actually, this is almost perfectly in position. I wonder if I can just get it in. Oh God, that's like so much pressure on the shield. You're not supposed to do anything about those the little tabs on the inside of the shield, right?
On the I/O shield. Oh yeah, no, you are You're
supposed to cut those.
No,
you're supposed to bend them back.
Yeah, don't do anything to those. But yeah, absolutely, just push right up against that shield.
That's probably why I'm having trouble then.
I think the part of the trouble is that you and I don't build computers very often, and so You very rarely get to encounter a fresh IO shield.
Yeah, I get caught on a lot of.
Also, your IO shield isn't in all the way.
Is it not?
This corner here needs to be popped until it pops.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at that. It's not in all the way. Okay, well, this comes out. That probably explains why I'm having a hard time with this.
Definitely.
That first, that next, do this.
Who is that side? Okay.
I'm gonna just loosen this guy again.
Cool. Co on the left. K on the back. Let's start with K. Okay. Just slide that into place.
What the hell is the matter with you? You guys got in just fine.
Most exclusive club.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Don't break the shield. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was a fine sound. It was an okay sound.
You and I are both in our own little head tanks right now.
Okay.
Regard to very fiddly.
Do you want me to pause while you do your thing?
No, please.
Because I'm worried I'm gonna.
This is great drama.
Okay. This is what people pay for, right?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
This is exactly what people tune in for.
Okay.
Sorry, pay. You're right.
Yeah.
People tune in for whatever.
Well, you know what I did the other day?
What did you do the other day?
I finally watched Lawrence of Arabia.
You mentioned that on our super secret text channels.
Yeah.
And I was meaning to ask, what did you think? Because it's been on my list of to watch for basically forever.
Well, I don't know if you know, Ian, but I could have made a better movie.
Really?
No, I actually, well, okay, I have my issues with that movie, but that's also because I'm viewing it through however many years it's been since that movie was made, that I'm like, it's a very different movie than what we watch these days. 3 hours and 45 minutes.
I'm happy with that so far.
Yeah. At the beginning, I definitely felt like, once you got about it, like 20, 30 minutes into it, I was like, I read the thing where it was like the movie it was a very courageous move for them to make this movie because it took its time. It wanted to tell a story, but it wanted to take the time to do it. And the guys who were making it and Peter O'Toole were like, we are prepared to let this take a lot of time, right?
Of course, dedicated to the brave Mujahideen fighters of Afghanistan.
Yes, exactly. And so, but it's real weird because it had this sense it just felt really tedious off the top. Like, it really felt like you were taking too much time to make things happen. Things are not kind of developing to a way that kind of gets us to the dramatic points of, what's happening. Like, you're setting this up way too soft. And yet, when I made it to the intermission, which is at 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Wow.
When I made it to the intermission, I was like, now I'm interested to see what happens, but I do need a break. And then when we came back, it went faster.
Interesting.
It felt like it was moving quicker, but the movie didn't move any quicker. It just felt like there was like, now I'm actually seeing the results of stuff that was happening. But the movie is, if you don't know how it ends, it is a sad movie. It is ultimately the struggle of one man who finds himself out of place in one environment. He finds himself in another environment, and he feels very much at home until he realizes that he's not a part of that environment. Multiple times, he keeps coming back from it and then feeling like he can't leave it alone.
I absolutely need to watch this film then.
It's a really interesting film, but it ultimately ends in this sense of he does not get what he wants. And it kind of just crushes him. And you see him at the end where it's like he's just riding home and he's just like, then you're just seeing him riding home and then it just goes, the end. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't need an epilogue because the epilogue is actually the beginning of the movie.
Oh, good.
But I don't need the epilogue. I know how his life actually ends, but yeah, it really just felt like I thought you could have told the same movie and you could have probably cut about 40 minutes out of it. If you had made it as a modern movie, you'd get it done in 2.5 hours. if you had chopped out these other extra bits, you could play it on TV and get 3 hours out of it, 3 hours and 10 minutes out of it, and you'd probably get there. Watching the whole thing is like, this is a lot. And you also see how the kind of, because how you can tell more, like they have a lot of shots where it's like shot day for night. I can't get used to day for night anymore.
No, that's day for night's a bad choice.
Right? But it's like they have to shoot day for night because Lawrence of Arabia, there's a lot of day for night scenes, and it's like beautiful shots of the sky and all the Milky Way and the moon and all the stars and everything else. It's like really, really pretty.
Glorious.
But they can't pan down to show the guys on the ground.
Yep,
because it would be obvious there's nobody there. So then they're shooting day for night, and it's like, oh, we wouldn't have done that these days. We would have found longer lenses, or we would have had ways to provide light in different ways that would have be able to more sensitive film or whatever, shoot it in digital. And it's like, I'm too used to seeing more majestic shots, a lot of large drone shots or helicopter shots to kind of establish what's going on. Instead, they've got guys up on hills sweeping their cameras across thousands of extras with thousands of horses, and you're like, they had to feed all those people. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Right? Like the sheer amount of work this film took back then, and yet it doesn't look like anything amazing. It doesn't look like the kind of stuff that I'm used to, because I'm used to having my mind blown by the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's like, I can't approach this at the same level.
You're expecting the Eternals, and you're getting Lawrence of Arabia.
Exactly. So still a good story, but yeah.
You become desensitized is what I'm learning.
Yeah, it sucks. And I don't like that that's the case, but also it's like, but that is, hey, that is the modern media landscape. And I think then that, therefore, if you try to get a 15-year-old today to watch it, they probably wouldn't get it unless they were really prepared to try to get it.
It's interesting you bring this up, because I've been spending my pandemic watching a lot more older stuff. I've been trying to catch up, from the 70s.
Oh yeah, you're watching Ideon.
Yeah, I watched Ideon. I'm currently in the middle of Zabungle. I've also started the original Gundam. 1970s stuff. And I'm finding that it's all really, really good. And not at all what we have today. And in fact, I would actually, I would say you couldn't make a number of these shows today, because they're, what is a children's program today has changed so fundamentally. Yeah,
that's very true. Yeah. You wouldn't be able to tell people that it's like, oh, you can get your kids to sit down and watch the original Gundam. It's like your kids these days would probably find it really hard to understand why.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Especially when the origin exists, but...
Okay, if I do this without the piece of plastic, how easy does this all go in? Seems like it goes in pretty damn easy. Just about everywhere.
Here's another thing to consider.
Yeah.
That your screws of your heatsink are going to be hitting the ground before anything else does. And then we'll push the board. They're proud of any of the other contacts.
Yeah. And everything else is all a protected screw on the board anyway, so I shouldn't really worry about trying to get that.
You are probably fine.
Yeah, getting that shield in place is probably unnecessary.
I have a corner sticker here I just want to remove with a knife.
Okay, that shield is in place. And now I'm going to slide this thing forward.
Oh, it's the back end.
I'm having a much harder time making this fit. And I don't know why.
Swap cameras here for just a second, because I'm going to show off what we've completed here today. This is it, folks. This is the EC160 plastic injection machine. And
see one in every household.
Yeah, exactly. They're sort of thing you can just keep on your backyard. I really love it. This is probably going to be a nice little desk model, but you can see you've got your injection molders on one top and side, and those correspond with the injection points. You can see it here and here, and this whole thing, I guess, just this part gets shoved up against here, plastic gets injected and fun comes out. Well, great. Now, all I need to do is the question, do I want to prime this in parts, or do I want to prime it, or just coat this all as one? And I'm really tempted to kind of just coat it all as one. But that is an exercise for another day for that one. Let's go back to the main projection here.
So how am I doing?
Actually,
It's hard to, maybe you'll be able to see it. I distended the I/O shield
oh no.
to, it's aluminum, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now every single one of the screws lines exactly up with where they're supposed to go.
Perfect.
So that's fine.
Yep, you're fine.
Yeah.
It is out as far as it's supposed to go, though. So,
It's certainly just kind of, we'll show you here in a second what happened. It's really quite funny. But now all the screws go in where they're supposed to. So I guess that means I did it properly.
I wish I/O shields were something that were a little bit more easy to get.
Yeah, right. In case you do what I just did. It's like, oh, is that a problem? It's like, well, I don't know. It's the whole point is to keep flies from flying in from that angle.
Honestly, what I'd like actually is just a site where I can go, plug in my motherboard type,
Right.
and either be able to buy an I/O shield for $2 in regular postal mail, or download an STL file to be able to print out my own.
Oh, like just in plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or to give it to a laser cutter company or something like that.
Oh, that'd be
for
nice.
people who want to make their own cases.
So yeah, let's give everybody I got 2 more screws I got to put into, but they're over there. That's fine. So what we've done, we're getting it in here, which is great.
Actually, if I may,
Yeah.
let's take you to the top.
Okay. So let's put that in there, and what you'll probably see is this has a big blouse in it right now. It's just it kind of is sticking out more than it should, thanks to that big DVI port.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, it's just either something got caught or something else, but now everything's kind of in place. I don't think I put it in backwards. And I'm like, well, whatever. It's going to do the job. I can make stuff fit. I'm sure it's going to be fine.
You absolutely did not put that in backwards, because why else would you put all of this legendary information about what these ports are on the inside?
Exactly, right? Like, I don't know why it was designed to do this. I mean, yeah.
I'll blame ASUS for making shoddy plates.
I mean, I'm a little more inclined to be like U-NAS probably sized this definitely for. Although if you're sizing a case and you're saying, well, mini ITX is this, and we also know it fits micro ATX, and you have everything in place where it's supposed to be anyway. It's like, I don't think you drilled everything in the wrong spot to make it fit.
Well, that's all standardized stuff. It's to a reference.
Yeah. So let's see. Let me show a little bit about the inside of this thing as well.
Ed25519, Beej is looking at running
Unraid. Yeah, we're going to try Unraid first. If that is not something I like, as I try to put it together, we're going to try TrueNAS. And if I don't like TrueNAS, or I liked Unraid better than TrueNAS, I will go back to that. And that sounds really weird, but I have a little time to play with this, so I'm going to just see what happens.
Yeah, use what works for you.
Yeah.
Saying
Okay, somebody's saying one of the tabs from the thing ended up inside a USB port, but I don't.
No.
They look like they're just kind of right there, don't they?
Yeah, that's there. That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah. I don't see where else it could have gone wrong, really.
Oh.
Something caught underneath?
No, that looks okay. I think it's just, you've got a very fat DVI port.
Yeah, I mean, because if things are off by just a hair, it's gonna have that kind of effect. So let's show the top down.
Yeah.
Because one of the concerns was, I'll tell you about one of the concerns we had. In putting this together, we thought that you can see the SATA ports here, SATA ports here, SATA ports, and everyone says SATA. I always say SATA because it's the A is the same in both, right? Anyway, so
that's how that letter is pronounced.
SATA, right? SATA. Anyway, two there. Part of the problem is that the way these things, when it went in, it sounded like that the because you can get a whole bank of ports, but they always put them on the edge of the board and they always turn them 90 degrees, which would make it impossible to plug these things in
Specifically those ones, yeah.
on the side, right? It's like, now I could get some right angle adapters for a lot of stuff, but if you have one bank and you have another bank like that, now you have to make both of them accessible, so it's difficult. So we had to find something that was like holding 6 that also had, or at least had more than 4, that was also all of them facing up. And this was like one of the few that Texan found. I'm just glad that was on sale. So overall though, yeah, it's like we got a fan cable, which will plug into wherever the fan adapter is. They're probably right there, chassis fan 2. We've got our USB header stuff. We'll plug the, this is the motherboard side thing, so that'll go in over there. It seems like everything's kind of like I have enough stuff and it'll all go into the right places.
A little concerned about one thing, but I mean, I know.
Well, I want to hear it.
I know we've got enough. So yeah, we've got your external 12 volt here.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's enough for that.
Let's see if I have any other power cables at all, which I don't think I do. Yeah.
I mean, it's probably fine.
It's a 65 watt TDP processor. Do you think it actually needs extra power to do any extra work? Is that how that works? I'm not sure. I would assume that something this modern also though knows to what to run. So yeah, the drives are hot plug. Yep. You do have to, when you take the fronts off, you do have to mount them in the chassis or mount them in the cage and then slide it back in. But yeah.
Yeah. Super cool.
Yeah.
I'm extremely excited to hear how this all comes together software-wise for you later.
Yeah, when it's running at home.
Great stuff.
Exactly. You have to take everything down, I'm guessing, at this point, or are you feeling it is the end of the stream?
Well, I was going to wind it in that direction, but if you want to continue plugging away, be my guest.
Okay.
I can give some. I can start the spiel at least.
Oh, sure. Let's do that.
Thank everyone for hanging out with us as we build a model of a model maker and the model of a PC that I've never seen before, and is actually quite great. These hot pluggable.
The back planes?
Yeah, the back planes are just so rad.
Best part too, if they ever fail, you can just buy the backplane straight from the website. Like, it's not like, oh, they failed, so you're screwed, or you send it back or whatever. It's like, buy the backplane, put it in yourself.
Bless.
Stop bothering us.
All right. Well, if you like what you see here, we got a lot of other stuff, and you can find everything, all the great shows over at loadingreadyrun.com. That's that's our home on the web, and you can find out about us, links to the things we do. We got a blog there, some stuff. Who knows? But we also have there loadingreadyrun.com/live, which will give you a preview of the schedule that is coming up for the coming long time. Coming up on the channel, because I'm curious about that, is Friday. And Friday's got Play It Forward. That's going to be Heather and Paul coming back for It Takes Two. That starts at 11 a.m. Pacific. Checkpoint follows up from that. That is the chill point, I believe, or is that?
Checkpoint Plus is our chill point currently.
Right.
Yep.
Good. And that's going to be happening at 2 p.m. Tune in for some fun video game chats. Friday Night Paper Fight rounds off our Friday night with Paper Magic, starting at 5 p.m. They're doing Kaladesh Remastered this week, and then from 7 a.m. Tune in at 6:45 for the pre-show. At 7 a.m. Pacific and running till 7 a.m. Pacific. Sunday will be the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
All right.
I'll be driving alongside the real 24 Hours of Le Mans out in France. Car has yet to be revealed, and I have yet to put together the grid because a botched graphics card update decided to hose my entire Windows installation yesterday, and we're finally back to booting, so that's good. But don't worry, it'll be up and running, and it's going to be a heck of a fun time. I've chosen the car. I'm really excited. Sunday, we're going to come back with Rhythm Cafe at 4 p.m., but before that, Play It Forward returns at 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. as well. And then, of course, Wheeler rounds out the week with Is This Your Card at 6 p.m., talking once again about Quint. And of course, you can check out the rest of the schedule over at loadingreadyrun.com/live. If you would like to support us, I mean, we like your support by being here with us as we do things. Whether you're sitting in the back of the room, just lurking, chatting it up in the chat, or supporting us monetarily via your subscriptions or bits, or at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun, where you can keep our lights on and the lights of our various posts, or at youtube.com/loadingreadyrun, where you can become a member and gain the privilege of asking the various members of Loading Ready Run questions via our monthly Ask Lur recordings, which I will be doing shortly.
Not tonight, shortly.
Oh, yes.
Oh, tonight shortly. Okay.
Yeah, is in 9 p.m.
I see. Okay.
But we want to thank as well those of you who are kind enough to show your support here on the channel during the show. Those people are Rabbit GTA, who is a brand new subscriber, thanks to Solid Fuel. Oh, wow, I need to go back actually too, because we had a crash.
Oh, right, yeah.
So that's going to take us back to, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to give Saskatchewan that.
Yeah.
We'll start there. Pinball Witch, 50 bits. Thank you so much for those. Thank you to Saskatchewan, by the way. I just didn't want to shout Saskatchewan. Galatar has been here for 50 months. Thank you so much for that. 23 Raiders from the Mandaleak. I'm betting that that's still part of LRMTG at that point, but thank you anyway. Masked Peanut, 31 months. Thank you. Cat Tree Dream Car is a 7-month subscriber. Thank you for your support. Robocracy Now, coming in for the 60th month. Thank you. Expropriate 7. Ooh, what's this? What's 3-month subscription? Thank you. Thy Eggman has subscribed to this channel for 26 months. Verily, our thanks be given to Thy Eggman. Mm-hmm. Lady Lockwood 92 came in with her 16th month subscription. I am returned and resubbed. Thank you for doing that here on this channel. Coreflux with their 100 bits, dropping that here. Thank you for that support. Seichi Sin coming in at 17 months. It's that time of the month again. Time to get my sandwich renewed. I'm thinking about sandwiches. I've become very good at making sandwiches, I think. Quixotic Scrivener, 7 months. Thank you for your support. Me there, 45 months. I see. You let the cockatoo give your your comment. Noah Soul coming in at 96 months. Thank you for your continued support. FS Scott for 40 months. Thank you for keeping it up. Spicy Parrot for 7 months. Don't Linus it, Beej. Or Linus it. I don't know. It's his name is Linus Torvalds, and it is pronounced Beej. Texan Reverend coming in with a sub, thanks to Not Keen nor Able. Thank you both for your continued supports in so many ways. Retrospect My Fantasy, subscribing for 54 months. Thank you for your continued support. That's a good number. I'm going to say it's a good number.
It is a good number.
Streamlag, brand new sub. Thank you to an anonymous gifter for giving Streamlag a sub. Night Raven 949, 7 months. That is 7 months of subscription, and that's great. Got to thank Stream Offline. No, I don't, but I have to thank an anonymous gifter for giving a gift to Stream Offline. Rabbit GTA, same deal. Thanks to Solid Fuel for passing that out. Thank you both. That was a demo. And it was a great demo, and it was worth how many months? 29 months. Thank you. Osriel02 is coming in with a 7-month resub as well. Thank you. Green Day 61892 has subscribed thanks to the Solid Rocket Fuel, as well as 5 more subs that they dropped on the chat. Thank you so much for your extended generosity. Gormless Ben has subscribed for 61 months. SF Mouse has subscribed for 23 months, saying 23 months Gunpla. Aussie Rob, 92 months, Recursive Building, Sounds Circular. It was a good time, and we found the end. The Ouroboros has eaten itself completely. And Zithrogar, almost getting that sub-baby in with 11 months, a truly model assembly tonight. Almost the 1 year. Thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you everyone for your support here on this channel. And that's it for the thanks. You got all your plugs in there?
No, I'm gonna hate this. Oh my god. I've got the big one, right?
Mm-hmm. The big bendy boy.
Yeah, which I'm like, how do I gotta bend this goddamn thing so it actually, because I don't want it to like, I could run it all the way out to the edge and then try to bend it back, but I'm like, is that going to be too much? And then also all of course, the case stuff is right down here where all of the other really heavy cables are pushing against. And I'm just like, yeah, it's going to be tough. So I'm going to probably stay here for another 20 minutes and do this off the...
I'm absolutely not going to kick you.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate that. Ooh, this has RGB headers. Just what this case needs.
Yeah, for the
Whoop, whoop.
for
This
the
is what I
LED
need.
lights.
Yeah.
You had me excited for a half second, like, ooh, RGB headers out. You can like hook up a display to that.
Oh, right. Yeah. No.
No, the wrong kind. All right, folks. Well, I think we're going to shut it down here at this point because this is now we're getting into the hard decisions. But it's been a pleasure with you tonight, and we'll see you in a fortnight's time. Once again, I will reiterate, never in fortnight. With more Tinker Tailor, I think I've got scheduled a build of some more work on those preamps. So yeah, we'll see you in that fortnight's time. But until then, ever forward, never learning. Take care.